Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Passion Project, the variety show that encourages anyone in the speedrun community to showcase the projects that they've been working on. My name is Amber Cyprin. I will be your host tonight, and since this is still a relatively new show, we're only 4 episodes in, that means I am still looking for run submissions. I'm always looking for run submissions. I encourage anyone and everyone in the community that, has been working on things, whether it's a new category that you are routing out, or maybe it's your current famous grain to grind. What in the world is with my English? Whether you have a finished task or a favorite game or a segmented run you'd like to show off, randomizers, bingos, you name it, I want it. Send me your runs by using the !passion command in the chat, and you'll follow the link to my submission form and send me your runs. Just before we get started with the run that we have planned for tonight, we have a couple of announcements. First off, Games Done Quick is returning to PAX East 2023 on March 23rd to the 26th. Be sure to check out the speedrun stage if you're interested in watching some speedruns or playing through the gauntlet if you are attending. And also, Frost Fatales 2023 wrapped up last weekend, and you can check out the playlist at youtube.com/Games Done Quick if you missed any of the runs and want to go check those out. Tonight on Passion Project, if you're a fan of high-speed 3D platforming, you are in for a treat. We're showcasing Spark the Electric Jester 3 tonight, and class is in session with the wonderful Shovel Claws, as it's going to be giving us a tutorial on how the tech and movement in the game works. And we'll be following that up with the first ever marathon-style run of the New Game Plus category. So thanks so much for being on the show tonight, Claus. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am so excited for this. Welcome to Spark 3. As Amber said, Spark 3 is a high-speed 3D action platformer where you play as this little dude, Spark. Kind of looks little goofy. The hat's cool, in my opinion, but a little bit goofy. Spark is trying to keep himself afloat after graduating from college. He's a newly degreed. What's the verb tense of getting a degree? He's gotten a degree, is my point. Electrical engineer, and he has some troubles making it in the world. Tries to find himself a job and gets it stolen by a few robots. And eventually he manages to stop a robot world domination, a robot takeover, and that earns him a big old blank check that he's trying to cash. At the start of Spark 3, he tells the player, man, I would love to get my money, but the internet got cut out because another robot dictatorship has taken over, the Fark Force. And I'm not waiting in any bank lines, because could you imagine? So instead, what he opts to do is take down another robotic dictatorship.
It's certainly a different way to spend your time.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I necessarily think that's the fastest way, but I mean, if you're gonna do it once, might as well do it twice, right? So he tries to take him down, and that's the little story of this game that you're gonna get. Because I'm not going to spoil anything. The other 2 games get recapped in this game, so this game is a great introduction to the series. There are 3 games in this franchise. 1 is a 2D platformer. 2 is a 3D platformer, just like this, which is also a 3D platformer. Spark 3 is a really stylish breakneck platformer that you'll get to learn a lot about tonight, because not only is this game fantastic casually, I'm going to make the bold claim that it's the best speedrun of all time. You can tell me how that goes in chat after we showcase it, but I'm also very biased, so fairly. We're going to be showcasing a tutorial as part of this first part of the show. You will get to hear plenty about why I think it's so good, but I can tell Spark's getting a little bit impatient. He's giving me a bit of attitude. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to go ahead and start that timer. So in 3, 2, 1. All right. Time has started, and I'm going to immediately quit out the menu, because to start things off, I want to show you one of my favorite levels in this game, Downtown Descent here, located in Protest City. Protest City, pretty straightforward. It's a big old city, and we're going to fly over some crowds here in Downtown Descent. There's a story behind why I like this game, or like this stage in particular a lot. When I first started running this game, hell, even when I first started playing this game, runners didn't really have a real speedrun route in development, even. we kind of just played the game, the stage a bit fast, and this might be a bit of a problem. See if I can make that. Cool, awesome. Made that jump. But yeah, runners kind of just played the stage fast, casually. Messed that jump up, unfortunate. This jump's really hard, so that's fair. We're gonna back it up here, all right. And I wanted to, of course, change that because I'm a little freak. So I spent one day just kind of going through this stage, checking stuff out, seeing what I could explore for about like 5 hours or so in a single day. And then I found a route. And I was like, okay, this kind of works, but I kind of just want to get stuff started. So we're going to go ahead and grind out some IL attempts, because I was a big ILer of this game. I really like IL in this game. And I eventually spent 20 whole hours on this stage just trying to get the perfect run. And eventually I brought this stage's world record down from, that's a bit awkward of a jump. We're gonna turn, no, we're just gonna go forward. It's fine. Eventually I got this stage's world record down from about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to about a 1:37, some milliseconds on the end of that. It took a very long time, admittedly. It took like 20 or so hours. And eventually I got it. It was really satisfying to pull off too, but it definitely made this stage kind of nightmare. Because I do that route in any percent too. And frankly, a 2 minute time here, we're gonna get 2 minute 9 second time. That's a pretty solid one for any percent, because like I said, I do this route in any percent. I'm a monster a bit. I also like making things very, very difficult for myself. But that was Downtown Descent. Now, there's not going to be a pop quiz or anything. I'm not going to expect you to kind of know anything there. We're going to back to Double Moon Villa. This is the game's first stage, and we're going to talk some about what you just saw there, at least eventually. We'll get there. We're going to talk some about Spark's basic moveset. And by the way, just for anyone in chat right now, feel free to ask questions. Me and Amber will both be looking on the lookout for them. So you guys can definitely ask questions if you're confused about stuff. Totally fine. This is a tutorial after all. But first things first, Spark, of course, has a jump. He has a little jump, and he has a double jump. Double jumping, of course, refreshes whenever you touch the ground, so no matter how much I press A there, you can see on my input display, he doesn't jump again, he just has that one double jump. Pretty useful. Additionally, you have a dash that you can use on the ground, so if I stand still here, hold the control stick, boom. He'll dash away. I will say, spamming dash is definitely not the fastest form of movement. You can see here, I'm kind of losing all my speed. Kind of hard to control here. So really dashing is more useful in the air. You can see Spark has an air dash here. Once again, one of those dashes that refresh when you touch the ground. Definitely best to use the dash in the air. Of course, you can spam it on the ground if you'd like to, but you'll end up losing a lot of speed. Air dashing is very, very versatile. We use it a lot. It is very useful for, you can see, just going straight here, boom, 90-degree angle instantly. Very, very useful move. Next up, we have a charge dash here, where we can hold down the left trigger and the B button, and Spark will charge up a dash, and if we let it go, pretty decent speed. Additionally, we can use this in the air, so let's say, oops, I accidentally jumped off that ledge. We're gonna hold down the dash, and we can aim around and reposition Spark pretty easily. So boom, we can just get back to that ledge if we need, and Spark's all good. Additionally, we have a homing attack. The game calls it a Jester dash. Don't let Febred fool you. It is a homing attack. Well, let's be real. You can see this little dude has a weak sign on him. If we press the B button, he will die, and Spark will homing attack onto him. There are a few things we can homing attack. We'll get into some of the environmental factors, some of the environmental elements here in a little bit, but you can homing attack these little weak enemies and they'll die instantly. Hello, big enemy, get away from me, please. Additionally, if we're high up in the air, we can hold down the left trigger and spam A, and boom, Spark will just do a little down dash. You can do that infinitely, but of course, 1 is perfectly fine. Down dashing is actually fastest if you do 2, so okay, hit the kill plane real fast there. Totally fine, I wanted to come back here anyways. As we're going to talk about wall jumping. Wall jumping is very useful. Down dashing, of course, just useful for going down. Additionally, one thing you can do with down dashing that I didn't really mention is if you're on a ledge like this, the sloped little curve, you can down dash on it and you'll gain more speed. Pretty nice, pretty useful. But we're going to talk some about wall jumping, so come back on down here. Wall jumping, pretty straightforward. If you're pressed against a wall, you can press the A button, and Spark will jump off the opposite end, and we can just do this on up a wall, and boom, climb up that wall. You can't do it infinitely, at least not normally. You can see here Spark loses a bunch of height. There is a way to do infinite wall climbs, but it's stupid and dumb. And I won't be teaching you that because it's also not very practical. Don't practice it. It's not worth your time. One more thing that I do want to point out is if we can find a way to get up this big old wall, we're gonna hop on over to this real fast. Hit you. I want to get up this big old wall, but there's ooh, okay, there we go. There we go. One thing that I do want to talk about is little corners here. You can wall jump up these, and they're pretty useful. You can actually infinitely climb up here. Pretty nice. So, that's all of Spark's basic movements. So, a lot of basic 3D platformer stuff. If you've played 3D platformers, you've definitely seen all of this stuff before, I'm sure. If I could, there we go. All of this should be at least familiar. Maybe some Freedom Planet 2 gamers know about the dash. Maybe some Sonic gamers know about the charged Jester dash here, but as a spin dash, you know, is how it is. All this stuff should be familiar. The big tip for beginners, at least, is to get familiar with all of your options and always keep them in mind. For example, down dashing is super helpful to maintain ground contact because Spark moves faster on the ground than in the air. Little tip. Definitely learn Spark's base move set before any of the cool advanced stuff that you don't need to know. The better you are with Spark's base movement set, the better you'll be with his advanced movement set. And this is where I'm going to ask, Amber, have you seen any cool questions that you think might deserve a shout?
So let me scroll through chat a little bit because chat has been pretty active, being like, oh, where'd this game come from? Stuff like that. One person asked something about... Okay, so one person asked, flying around that... you were flying around that city before. Does Spark have a top speed or can he always go faster?
It kind of depends on the tech. So we can get some into that when we talk about the more advanced tech, but Spark does have a maximum speed, at least like maximum running speed. There are ways to get higher speeds, but you'll have to kind of maintain them. So, for example, this is not, if we charge up a full charged Jester dash here, this is not Spark's top speed. It is probably a decent speed to aim for, definitely. You can see like the little white streaks behind him as he runs, but it's definitely not Spark's top speed. You can see there, did something you don't really know about, and we went a lot faster. But yes, all the characters in the game do have a speed cap, like a hard-coded speed cap. It's just, it's a lot lower than probably your default running speed will be in a lot of cases, and there are ways to get higher and higher up that closer to that speed cap. That was a good question. I like that question.
Yeah, like knowing if there's a like hard-coded speed cap or not is it's like, hey, can you just go infinitely fast?
No, unfortunately not. That would be super cool. This game actually got toned down a lot compared to games like Spark 2. In Spark 2, there was a really annoying tech called switch boosting, which, for lack of a better word, you're spamming a button continuously to constantly gain speed in that game. It's a nightmare on hands. It ended up getting patched out and didn't even matter because runners would down patch, and eventually it kind of dwindled interests once we found it, or once they found it. I never played Spark 2, so I can't really speak on the story that much. That's just what I'm aware of, at least. So this game definitely got toned down after that tech was found, because Lake was like, I don't want anyone's hands to die because they're running this game, preferably. So yeah, he did actually tone down things a lot. Thankfully, there is very, 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 very little mashing in this game, and the mashing that is in this game is relatively relaxed. We'll talk some about the mashing in this game when we get into combat. But yeah, as for that, I think that's a good time to transition into level design. This game is generally really, really open, and it gives you a lot of freedom throughout the stages. There are also a ton of differing paths. You can kind of see it here with Double Moon Villa. I mean, look at it, right? a lot's going on here. But we're going to talk some about the different elements you might find. So stuff like this. What is going on my screen? What does any of this mean? Perhaps first and most importantly, we're going to talk about these little yellow dodecahedrons. These are called bits. Bits are actually an in-game currency that you can find around the map. They're pretty similar to rings, for lack of a better comparison. As a beginner, definitely collect these. Even if you're done with your casual playthrough, you should go back and collect these. You can see in my little bit counter in the top right on the HUD. I have a lot of them on this save file. Frankly, the save file isn't even mine. My save corrupted. I had like 500,000 before that happened, though. I collected quite a bit. Quite a bit. Get it? Sorry, chat. I think this is a good time for me to leave. Anyways, but yeah, the bits are all around. You definitely want to try to collect as many as you can during or even after your casual playthrough, because these things will give you some nice upgrades in the shop. We'll talk about the shop in a little bit. There are additionally these bubbles. You can see two different kinds of bubbles. There's one over here, I think. Yeah, right there. You can see a yellow and a blue one. Bubbles serve a lot of different purposes. They're actually probably the most important thing in this game. But you can see this yellow one, if I homing attack it, it will give me a lot of bits up there. The number of bits you collect depends on difficulty. For ease, I'm going to assume you're playing on easy Jester and say they will give you 30 bits whenever they are destroyed, but it does change based on difficulty for some godforsaken reason. These are very, very important, of course, for going fast. Because of tech reasons we'll get into in a bit. Additionally, we have these blue ones. If you point your attention towards the top left, you can see this blue energy meter. We'll get into the energy meter in a little bit, but do know the energy meter is very, very important. It's kind of like a combo meter in fighting games where it allows you to do some pretty crazy moves, pretty awesome moves, in fact. So you'll definitely want to collect those throughout the stage as well. They're pretty important. As a beginner, I wouldn't worry too much about like finding locations for them. I would just kind of get them as they crop up, because you'll definitely need some of the upgrades, especially these yellow bubbles. I would definitely try to get those whenever you can. And for reference, for a beginner, I'm talking about someone who is interested in speedrunning this game, but has maybe finished a casual playthrough, maybe not. Just someone who would want to speedrun this game. So that's the bubbles and the bits. Next, we have these little capsules. These capsules are probably largely unimportant. They don't play a super big part, but they're good to know about. We have these green ones that will give you a score, an added score. You can see the score up in the top right. The score doesn't really matter for speedrun purposes, but there are score medals in the game where if you collect a certain amount of score, you'll get little collectible. I don't know if it goes towards file completion, because this game does have a save file completion tracker. We also have these blue capsules. These, of course, will give you energy, but it's not very much energy. I wouldn't bank on them giving you all that much. Perhaps the most important of the capsules, if I could find, there it is, are these yellow ones. These yellow ones are health capsules. You can see H capsule up in the top right there. These, if you take damage, will give you some health back. I believe it's just one of those little squares up in the top right, or top left. I know my directions, but very, very helpful. We use them actually quite a bit in the speedrun, in particularly dangerous sections of the game, for reasons you'll see during the New Game Plus run, because we won't talk about it too much here. Next, let's talk about the rails in the game. This game has rails. We'll talk some about rail mechanics when we get into shop goodies, but no, you can crouch on rails by holding down X, and you'll want to crouch on rails while going downwards. You can see Spark gained quite a bit of speed there with the help of the rail, or the booster there. You also want to avoid holding crouch while going up. You can hear that little scratching noise, and Spark slows to a crawl. Avoid crouching while going up, crouch while going down. Pretty straightforward enough. And that's without any upgrades. There are rail upgrades you can get in this game, but like I said, we'll talk about that when we get into the shop features. Additionally, we have these little boosters. You've seen them. They're boosters. You go fast when you touch them, at least most of the time. There are boosters in this game that will actually slow you down. It's honestly just kind of something you have to get used to. Something you have to experiment with, find out which ones are bad, which ones are good. Hitting them isn't that bad, especially as a beginner. Like, you're not gonna lose that much time. You're gonna have other time saves, right? And then we also have these springs. They're springs. Fair enough. I will come over, I believe if we come on up. Actually, I'm just going to restart the stage because I know there's one immediately, like right here. I want to talk some about the collectibles in this game. Like I said, there are score medals that if you collect a certain amount of score, you can track them down, you can collect them all. Will go toward, I believe it goes towards your file completion timer, but unsure about that because I don't play this game for completion. I play this game to speedrun. But there are also speed medals. There are diamond and gold speed medals that you'll get if you complete the stage within a certain amount of time. As a beginner, as someone who wants to speedrun this game, aim for those times. They will help you improve at the game, will help you figure out the maps, help you figure out the good shortcuts. They're not always going to be optimal routes, and largely a lot of the time you might just follow someone else's route, maybe make up your own if you're that kind of gamer, but for the most part, you can totally just play the game on your own and get those medals. They're not very difficult, but they are good practice. Practice is important in this game, as we'll soon talk about. Additionally, we have these. You can see the little transparent medal here floating around. These are Explorer medals. You can see if I pause the game here, I have all 10 of them, the little rainbow there, all across in the top right. Explorer medals are another one of the collectibles in the game. There are 10 in most stages. Not every stage has 10, but they're just another collectible. We do actually have an all collectibles stage category where all collectibles category where the goal would be to collect all 10 of the Explorer medals and then finish the stage. It's not very popular, but if you're more of a router type than a go fast type, that's definitely a category that we have available to you. We have a lot of categories, frankly, and not many people to play them. Play this game, smiley face. But all collectibles, if you're more of a route-minded type, definitely try it out. Try it out. It's a pretty fun time just collecting all of them, but ultimately not important for speedrunners. Just want to shout out some of the categories that don't get played all that often. And that's about it as for what you'll see in the stages. Some stages have like special, unique set pieces, And we also have enemies, which I guess we'll talk about more during combat. You've seen some of the weak enemies, but these stronger enemies we'll get into in combat. Just know these guys can mess you up. But that's about it for what you'll see in the actual stages. So we're gonna actually quit out to the menu to go to the shop. And this is another point where I'm gonna ask any good questions, any questions you've seen. Of course, chat, if you have questions.
Or it helps when ask. I unmute. Like I pressed the button, it didn't unmute me.
Tragic.
So I have only other question I've seen so far has been what are the bars under Spark's health, but we've gone over that, I think.
Mm-hmm. One of them is a combo meter. We'll get into that when we talk about combat in this game. And the other is the energy bar, which will actually be a great segue into this menu. Okay. This is Shopalo's Goods, just right under Double Moon Villa if you back out to the world menu. Shopalo is the in-game shop, so right here. You can also navigate to it through the pause menu in the hub world, but I'm not going to do that here. Shopalo has a lot of stuff you can buy, and for beginners, this is kind of a little bit scary. For the most part, everything in this menu, the extra moves part, is pretty good. They're all combat abilities. They're all combat moves. Gives you more options during combat, which is, of course, never a bad thing. So I would recommend just buying these last, especially if you're not like particularly a fan of the combat in this game. Totally fair. I get it. I'm also not a fighting game player, so fair. Ultimately, the extra moves we don't really buy during the any % speedrun, at least. We buy one or two, but for the most part, we don't really buy them. So I'm not going to talk about them too much. I will say we have a combat guide in our Discord where you can go very in depth with some of the combat, written by a literal 2018 Evo champion. I'm not kidding. The current world record holder has won an Evo main stage event. How? Anyways,
that's actually impressive.
It's crazy. He showed up and I was like, okay, cool, new person, awesome. And then someone was like, wait, are you Squish from insert fighting game that they play here? I was like, cool, I don't know what this is. And they were like, yeah, that's me, smiley face. And then I read some of the chat and I was like, oh my God, he's won an Evo main event. What? Tangent aside, shout out to Squish. Tangent aside, we have some more shop goods. And we're going to talk about these especially because these are the big ones. So the three here that we're going to talk about, at least for now, we'll talk about some of the other ones in a bit, are Energy Dash. Energy Dash is basically like tapping the boost button with Sonic and Boost games. You get a big boost of speed all at once for one energy bar. So you have 4 energy bars. You can use one all at once to get a big burst of speed. This is probably the most useful ability in the speedrun. It allows you to do some really cool tech that we'll get into after the shop segment. Definitely pick this one up and always have it equipped. We don't unequip it. It's very good. And even as not a runner, it's really good. Or not someone doing the advanced tech, it's really good because, hey, it's a big burst of speed. If you hit a wall, boom, you have a big burst of speed. You can also use it to speed up if you notice you're going a bit slow. Definitely worth it. Next up, we're going to talk about Cloud Shot here. Cloud Shot is basically a low gravity mode, which allows you to slow the effects of gravity, slow Spark's descent. Thankfully, we have these cute little animations on the side here where we can see what they do. This is really helpful for a handful of stages, but is also just really good recovery options. There we go, I got there. I couldn't remember the word options. Cloud Shot is really helpful if you've just fallen a little bit too low. You can use this to wall climb back up. You can use it to just get a little bit of extra height. And additionally, if you're going up, if you Cloud Shot, you'll go even further up. So it's really versatile. It's really helpful. I would also recommend always having this on your bar, but you don't always need it. It's one of those things where it's like, if the stage is a bit risky, has a bit where you can definitely mess up, then it's probably worth bringing in. But definitely not one of those things that are like always have it, but definitely one that is like most of the time you're probably gonna want to bring this. And next, I want to talk some about speed buff here, but not in the good way. Speed buff rank incoming. So this ability is very misleading. Speed buff does not do what it says. Speed buff may seem like it makes you go super fast, wow, this must be so powerful. We don't pick it up during the speed run. None of the top runners use it. Do not use this power up. Speed buff is actually an acceleration buff, which is a huge crutch for beginners, because you're not going to always have the energy to use this. It uses 2 energy bars. You're not always going to have the energy to use this. If you're relying on this thing to go fast, you need to probably stop using it. Because ultimately, you have better options. Not only does Spark have a lot of options to get off the ground himself, some of the easier advanced tech we're going to talk about here in a bit definitely lets you get to about the speed he's going here in this animation very fast, very quickly. Do not use this power up. It is a huge crutch. It will not increase how fast you improve. It will only slow you down if you want to get good at this game. So there's your warning. Do not use this move. Do not. Stay away. And then we're going to talk about some of these other ones when we get into combat, because for the most part, these are all other combat abilities. I will say, however, this radar scout ability is really useful for beginners because you can see it shows all of the items around the map for you. Additionally, it shows your speed and vertical speed. However, once again, this is kind of a crutch. It's not as bad as the speed buff, but none of the top runners really use this during runs. I think people did during the demo days when this was one of the very few items in the game, or extra moves in the game. I don't really use it. It's kind of useful if you're routing a stage out, but for the most part, we have routes for most of the stages at this point. Definitely could still be improved, of course. And you're always free to use this because you're not getting any downsides. There's no downsides to using this thing, really. But it does take up an equipment slot. You have 4 equipment slots that you'll have to use using the D-pad here. If you want to use it, feel free to, but it's totally negligible either way.
I think if nothing else, it gives you like some tangible data when trying to learn how to recognize how fast you're going.
Absolutely. That's probably its biggest benefit for sure. If you want to see what's Spark's speed cap, boom, now have a number to attach to it. I don't know what unit that number is, honestly, but
just measure it in fasts.
Is it?
That's what I would do.
Fasts. So true. But that's it for the extra moves for now, at least. We'll talk some about more when we get to combat. But I want to talk some about the upgrade section here. We have 4 upgrades in this game, and they're basically always enabled. You can disable one of them for some reason, but you keep it enabled. The 4 upgrades are, first and foremost, the charge shot here. The charge shot basically it's a better homing attack. You can see Spark here can shoot that little weak enemy and instantly kill it. This is really helpful for when you're going fast. You don't have to homing attack anyone. Homing attack will stop you unless you do one of the advanced attacks we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But homing attacks will stop you in place. Spark will do a little bounce off the enemy, like he's Mario or something. Spark just loves copying everyone, apparently. But all you have to do, press the right bumper, and boom, that enemy is now dead. Additionally, you can charge it up for a more powerful blast that is useful during combat. It's a good mix-up. It's a good way to get some damage out when you're a bit farther away, stuff like that. So charge shot, definitely useful. Definitely useful. Next, we have Rail Boost and Regen Breaking. I'm going to talk about these at the same time because they're two sides of the same coin. As we said, rails are pretty straightforward. You ride that rail when you jump on it, and you want to crouch when you're going down, and otherwise maintain your speed. Well, rail boosting and regen braking will definitely help you do that. Rail boosting, first off, spends some of your energy bar. It's not like a 1 bar or anything, it's just a continual depletion. You can see it there, the animation a little bit. You'll spend energy for going faster, so energy for speed. Regen braking is the exact opposite of that. You can see, you can hold down the Y button, Spark will slow himself down, but in return, he'll get energy, so energy for speed. Two sides of the same coin, you'll definitely want to kind of juggle these out. I'll be real, rail mechanics are kind of difficult to understand, so I wouldn't blame you if you just don't really get them. In general, if you're going really, really fast, regen braking will literally do nothing and it's just free energy. If you're going really, really slow, regen braking is terrible, don't use it. Rail boosting, you'll basically always want to use as long as you have the energy. But then it becomes a question of, are you going to be able to balance that energy for later sections when you need that energy? It's definitely something you'll have to practice in each stage and kind of just becomes a big juggling act. I wouldn't blame you for using neither of these abilities when you're just starting out. I sure didn't. But it's something you'll eventually have to learn if you want to start competing with some of the better times in this game. Or, hell, if you don't want to do that, totally also fine. You can just use neither of them and it's totally chill. Play the game how you want, of course. And next, we're going to talk about Jester Swipe. Jester Swipe is basically the light speed attack from Sonic games, because, God, I can't stop comparing this game to a Sonic game. Like, Vepard, please stop adding Sonic abilities to this game. Anyways, Jester Swipe is just a light speed dash except on bits. So you can see here when Spark is near a trail of bits, you can press the B button, just a real quick B. I did not mean to actually press the B button. Press the B button and Spark will magnet attract to the bits and run across them. Jester Swipe is one of the best abilities in this game. You'll always want to use it when you have a trail of bits nearby. Okay, I'm kind of lying. Not always. Sometimes bits will troll you a bit, and when you're trying to go, it's a bit more complex than that, of course. But I'm going to show you some of Jester Swipe's power after we talk about our next piece of tech. So, Jester Swipe, just keep that in mind. Very, very useful little dash across the ring trails. I will also say it doesn't slow you down like in some Sonic games. You'll keep your speed. So, you'll see that when we do our next stage. Because I'm sprinkling in our stage showcases in this tutorial. But we're going to load back into the Double Moon Villa here to talk about 2 more abilities.
Can I just interject with a couple of questions real quick?
Go for it. I have to get to a location anyway, so go for it.
Yeah, so the first question was, are there any glitches used in the run?
Yes. 1. At least 1 in version 1.1. This game has multiple patches that change the run a bit. For reference, I'm going to mostly be talking about 1.1 because that's what I run. But 1.2 does patch out a few of those tricks. But as for glitches, it's hard categorizing this game as having glitches or not, because this game is really, really freeform. It expects you to kind of do crazy stuff and do all this like wild movement. None of the movement tech that we're going to talk about here is necessarily considered a glitch. A lot of it is intended. The only major thing I would say maybe is a glitch is clipping out of bounds in some stages, but like even then it's hard to define what boundaries are, because this game, I mean, look at it. Would you consider this out of bounds? We're definitely not in a part of the stage that would be considered part of the normal playing field, but like there are bubbles here and there are things to interact with, there are walls. Like it gets messy, it gets muddy. This game doesn't have a glitchless category, and so I'm going to say probably not many glitches, at least. Maybe some that some would consider glitches.
Okay, so the another question is, as someone who has a really bad habit of getting into new games for the fear of them being too long, how long... Oh, I just lost the... Where to go? Thank you, thing for... all right. How long would one's first splits take after full upgrades are acquired?
Could you repeat that real quick? I missed the second part.
As someone who has a really bad habit of getting into new games for fear of them being too long, how long would one's first splits take after full upgrades are acquired? I'm not entirely sure if they mean how long would a New Game Plus run take, because the estimate for you is like 120, but you've been running the game for a while.
Probably a bit longer than that. That question's a bit poorly framed. Of course, no offense to the chatter. You don't know this game. And I'm glad you're asking questions. Not to be mean, but so the category most people run is any percent new game. And when you start a new file in this game, of course, you don't have any of these cool upgrades. You don't have any of the flashy upgrades. Your bit count doesn't carry over. You have to start completely from scratch. I'd say estimate for a decent estimate, RTA at least. We timed this run in IGT, and we'll get into that when we get into the New Game Plus run. But RTA estimate for someone's first run of this game, I would say maybe 2 hours to 2 hours 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that might have been more what they were asking, maybe.
Yeah. I'm gonna take it that way.
Yeah, they've re-asked it. How long would the average run take for new players? There it is.
For that, the average run for new players, RTA will probably take around 2 hours to 2 hours and 30 minutes, somewhere between there, depending on how bad the mistakes you make are. For new players doing their first run, I definitely recommend don't do any of the advanced tech. You'll be inconsistent, and it'll probably cause more mistakes than it will time loss. Practice those after your runs, or between runs, doing ILs, doing just practice. Honestly, the biggest tip I can give for beginners wanting to improve at this game, who are interested in this game, maybe, play the game a lot. And I know it's cliche. I know everyone says it, but it's damn true. You want to play this game a lot. You really do. So, story time, slight tangent. I completed this game casually back in, I believe, August, and instantly I was like, cool, I kind of want to speedrun this. This game is sick. So joined the speedrun Discord, and there was a small tutorial on some of the techniques, and I started practicing. I couldn't hit anything that this game, that tutorial was talking about, because this game takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of getting used to. Then as I played, as I did IL runs, as I just constantly played and improved, I saw myself getting better. I saw myself hitting these tricks. I saw constant improvement. And then eventually, after months of ILing and, putting up IL world records, a lot of time, I got into any percent runs. And then I believe it was about 50 attempts in, maybe 70, somewhere between that range. I ended up beating the world record, just because I had spent so much time ILing the game. I had gotten pretty consistent at ILs. I had good backup strats too, because when I was just tired of restart stage, I could just do a backup, and boom, I can finish the stage finally. Thank God. But it did not take much time for me at all to beat the any percent record, just because I spent so much time just constantly ILing this game. As a beginner, I kind of have to recommend it, right? If it let me beat the any percent world record pretty quickly, just IL the game. I really do. And if you're not an IL type, also totally fine. Just learn safer strats. And for that, I'm going to recommend Argic's runs, because Argic plays this game much safer than I do. I go full risk, and you'll see that during the New Game Plus run. We'll see if it goes well. But I play this game full risk. I do basically every IL strat in the game. I don't hold anything out. But someone like Argic, he doesn't have time to learn IL strats. He's a busy man. And so he does really safe strats. So two sides of the same coin. And Argic does not have a bad time. He has a 56 PB, I believe, probably lower depending on how his marathon runs have gone, that we haven't retimed. He does great safe strats too. Like, you can totally learn them pretty quickly. I started by learning some of Argic strats. They helped me improve a lot faster than probably some of the other strats would. And then eventually I learned some of the IL strats, got some IL world records, stuff like that. And now here we are, where I'm 3 minutes off the world record because Squish is just so much better than me. But yeah, I would highly recommend beginners start with ILing. I went on a massive tangent there for a pretty simple question, but is there a New Game Plus mode, or do you just replay levels? There is a New Game Plus mode. Well, you'll see that before we start the New Game Plus run. Why is Shovel Plus just jumping back and forth here? Because I'm stalling for time. Smiley face.
And I think the last thing that I had seen was like, where is it? It was about the timing method. Is the speedrun timer based off of overall time or just level times?
Just level time.
Yeah, I figured it's just the IGT added up of every level throughout the run, right?
Exactly. We do not count hub world movement, so if I quit out to the hub menu, which I won't do that, we wouldn't count that in the IGT or in the timing for your... Yeah, exactly. The one thing that does not fall into like in-game time that we do time are pauses, as you can get a tangible benefit off them, and also it's fair to punish you if you need to like restart from checkpoint or restart from stage. That's fair. So pauses and final game time or final stage times all added up. Pretty straightforward. We originally did want to time the hub world, but this game is a Unity game. If you know anything about autosplitter dev, oops, kind of hard to do that for Unity games. We eventually got it figured out, but you wouldn't want to see autosplitter back in a few months ago. But we're gonna talk some about the advanced tech now that I've gotten the beginner section out of the way. This is the one advanced tech that I'd recommend for beginners to practice, and you may recognize it from some recent games. Cough Sonic Frontiers. This game came out first. This is called a magnet dash. So you can see we're standing in front of a big old bubble here. Bubbles, of course, we can homing attack. You also know we're going to homing attack this guy, for example. Spark stops, and we can't really gain much speed off of that homing attack. That is, unless we can find a way to stop Spark from stopping when he homing attacks. So, thankfully, we have a way to do that. Of course, we have the air dash. The air dash is going to be our best friend. So, we're gonna show this off, hopefully. So I'm gonna charge up a Jester attack. And then I'm going to homing attack this bubble, or a Jester dash, and I'm going to homing attack this bubble and hit the air dash at the same time. Kind of a bit slow there, but you get the idea, hopefully. We also have something up here that I can definitely show this off with. So, two bubbles right here. Going to homing attack you, and cancel both of them using an air dash, and you can see the speed that we get. One more time, just for good show. Boom. If you're going fast and you and you magnet dash, we're gonna see that up here. You're gonna go super fast. I hit the wall, of course, but you go super fast. Magnet dashes are probably the biggest tech, especially for beginners in this game. I would highly recommend at least practicing them a bit. The timing is a bit lenient, especially on newer patches where you can kind of just press them at the same time. Additionally, I have my input viewer, so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but you can definitely get some nice speed off them. Additionally, I will say you can do them off enemies, but you can see here Sparks kind of hitting this dude. Eventually went through it. It's a timing thing. On enemies, if you want to magnet dash, it's all based on the timing. So we Jester dash him, or homing attack him, and then air dash. We're getting lucky. I wanna hit this guy. There we go. You can hit the enemy. One way to avoid this, though, if you want to magnet dash off enemies more consistently and not have to rely on the timing, all you have to do is jump. and you'll see Spark is above the enemy there. This is because the air dash will actually keep you straight. So if we're in front of an enemy here, and he's dead, okay, thanks. If we're in front of the enemy here, and then magnet dash, Spark keeps his little air dash, and that will send him straight forward. So we can do that pretty easily on enemies. Of course, the enemy despawns and doesn't reload for whatever reason, but magnet dash is definitely easier to hit on the bubbles there. I would highly recommend going for them off of bubbles, but you can do them off enemies just to show them off. As I said, the timing is pretty lenient now. I believe it wasn't initially, but the game got updated and then the timing got changed, so they're pretty lenient now, I believe. If you're struggling with it, I really would just try to do different timings, kind of be aware of what you're pressing when, and try different timings out. But you can see the speed that we just got from that. Just one enemy and you're going pretty fast. Magnet dashes are pretty cool. Yo, what's up, Risu? No way. I know that person. Thank you for the raid. Anyways, yeah. Magnet dashing is very, very important. I would highly recommend you learn them. And some of the tech that we're going to talk about is actually just all magnet dash variants. So stuff that has very similar technique to it, but is just some different type. And we're going to talk about our first version now. This is called an exhausted magnet dash. So Spark, of course, has a limit on how many air dashes he can use. He can do one in the air. So I'm going to find a better bubble here. Actually, okay, this is kind of bad. Oh, actually, I have one over here. I do an exhausted magnet dash off this in the any percent route of this stage, which I'll show off in a little bit. But we have this little bubble here. Spark only has one air dash. So what happens if you magnet dash while all your air dashes are gone? Well, you can do that. It's just gonna be a bit of a different outcome. So if we come over here, do all of our air dashes, you can see Spark goes straight up. He keeps the angle that he's approaching the bubble there. You can do this off enemies, of course. So you can see I just went straight down. Exhausted magnet dashes are good tech options if you need to, say, have a certain angle. So, for example, here in any percent, in the any percent route, we'd want to get to that rail. And if we can keep in upwards momentum, that would help us a little bit reach that rail faster. So we can do an exhausted magnet dash and we can get there a lot easier. Additionally, here in the inner percent route of this stage, I actually do an exhausted magnet dash on one of these enemies to try to get up here, because there's a bubble here, and then we just magnet dash off there over here. But exhausted magnet dashes are great tech options, especially if you need that extra height, need less speed, need more angle. Very, very good tech option. Not super useful though. They're not used too much. I use them sometimes, just not very often. And next, we're gonna actually restart the stage because I want to show you the stage, mostly using only magnet dashes and some of the other movement options. So this is Double Moon Villa. We're gonna start out with a charged Jester dash, do a few Jester swipes there to keep some of our speed, and hit the enemy and restart the stage. That's how ILing in this game goes. Thankfully, this game is pretty nice to IL. And okay, bad angle there. Joking. Anyways, do we have any good questions from chat?
Nothing too in-depth, just a person was asking if there were boss fights, because I think that they did miss that there is an entire combat system around the game.
Yeah, there is a combat system in this game. It's pretty ridiculous. It's a wild ride. We'll get into it in a little bit. Combat is... I had to get, Evo Fighting World Champion to write me a whole combat guide because I didn't understand how it worked. Also, you just saw there Double Moon Villa. Okay. I don't know where I'm going. That's fine. Cool. 36-second time. That's perfectly acceptable. bit of a weird ending there, but you saw there, that was literally only magnet dashes and like the basic moveset. That was it.
Yeah,
I did one or
that's
two
the
like
momentum.
exhausted magnet dashes, but like you saw the momentum there. As a beginner, that's all you need. And humble brag, I got the world record on that stage yesterday. 31:61. That run is so sick. I have it on my Twitter, at Shovelclaws. It is so cool. I can't stop rewatching it because it's so satisfying. Anyways, you can see magnet dashes and exhausted magnet dashes, two very powerful pieces of tech when combined with stuff like Jester swipes and some rail boosts, stuff like that. Really, really, really sick run. But we're going to talk some about some of the other techniques in this game, and we're going to, for that, go to nighttime phenomena here. Slight flashing lights warning. Very small, but slight, kind of, a little bit. This stage is just a bit flashy. It's a bit worse when you're playing it in New Game, but just magnet dash off these two. We're going to talk some about hyper dashes. I'm gonna try to look away from the big flashing lights. I did see a question. Overall, is this a difficult game to speedrun? Kind of depends how IL you want to go. Yes, if you do all the IL routes like me. It doesn't have to be. It really doesn't. We have plenty of runners who post like an hour time. That's a good run. That really is. World record for context is a 43 minute time. IGT, of course. So like an hour time, not that bad. Like compared to world record, of course, like you're going against world record, obviously. Hour time, pretty solid. Very, very solid. Also, saw a question in chat. What is IL? IL means individual level. So, just one level, you do as fast as you can. You know. Speedrunner terms, of course. I forget. But this game does not have to be difficult. You don't have to do any of the cool, flashy tech. I will say, one of the first flashy techs I want to get into is my favorite of the cool, flashy techs. This is a hyper dash. You can see we're just gonna go around this. Oh, we hit the invisible wall. That's epic. That's never happened before. Okay. I did not know this little corner existed. Okay, I'm finding out new stuff here. That's fine. Regardless, you saw what a hyper dash was there. Hyper dashes are kind of identical to magnet dashes, if Spark would allow me back up here. We're gonna actually do one just right off you. So instead of canceling with just an air dash, we're going to actually cancel the homing attack with something else. The energy dash power-up that we have. This is why this thing is the best thing in the game, because look at that. Look. I'm very fast, very speedy. Ow, thank you, enemy. And this hyper dash allows us to do some very wild stuff. So if I could show off this stage. This is Nighttime Phenomena, one of my favorite stages. We're going to restart there just because I got a bad magnet dash. Very, very flashy stage. And of course, we hit the wall. That's awesome. I'm just going to collect some energy here using some of our little enemy friends. We're going to hit a hyper dash off you. Hyper dashing is a bit inconsistent. You also really don't need it as a beginner. We're going to run around this building, and we're going to come down to you. This is a checkpoint. Oops, I died. Oh, wait, I got the checkpoint. Oh, cool. That's my favorite skip in this game because you just hit the checkpoint after you die, and it's fine. Also, you can hyper dash off enemies. Okay, never mind. You can hyper dash off enemies. Okay, never mind. You can hyper dash off enemies. There we go. And get some pretty wild speed. And I hit the dang corner. Of course. Well, we're just gonna do the rail boost of shame. It's fine. I'm not seething. I'm not coping. I'm not seething. I'm not coping. Run down this hallway. Do a Jester swipe to go a bit fast. We're actually going to avoid this booster and just fall right here. And what did I just say? You could Jester. Okay, please, enemy. Thank you. You could hyper dash off enemies. Man, I just will not get this. Okay, whatever. It's fine. We'll hyper dash off you instead. And I hit the dang rail, man. Okay. Well, we're just gonna do the run of shame instead. Ow. Okay, this IL could have gone better, but that's fine. We're gonna dash off there and hit the kill plane. Man, this game is fun. Smiley face. Just ride the rail here, then it's fine. And this is actually one of the very few mandatory combat sections that the game actually kind of does make you do. We have this little wall here guarded by a bunch of enemies. Thankfully, we can just take it out real fast. Do a hyper dash off that enemy. Hit this there, then dash into this corridor. This map is supposed to be all like trippy and stuff and make you get all confused, but I'm just gonna hyper dash off that bubble. Actually hit the rail this time. No way. Actually hit the rail this time. Okay, thank you. And then just ride it to the very end. This was a really bad time, at least for me, so, you know, it's whatever. We're gonna just run off into the end, into the sunset. And that was Nighttime Phenomena decently. Hopefully New Game Plus, I'll redeem myself there, but you get the picture. Hyperdash allows you to do some pretty awesome skips. It's also what you saw at the beginning of this tutorial segment in Downtown Descent. That's the tech that allowed me to just fly through the stage without a care in the world. I have had misconceptions about hyperdashing, where people are like, oh, surely this is easier than avoiding all the obstacles. No, it is not. No, it is not. Hyperdashing is pretty inconsistent. You saw a little bit there. That's kind of why I flubbed some of them in Nighttime Phenomena. But, like, they're really inconsistent. It's a big timing thing, and this is where I'm gonna stray beginners away from hyperdashes. I like them a lot. I would recommend you practice them because you need them to compete at the top level in this game. Me and Squish both do them everywhere, but don't learn them until you're ready for that. Once you get consistent at magnet dashes, once you get all the stages down, then you can learn hyper dashes. Don't put them in your toolkit yet. You're not ready for it until you feel more confident in this game, feel more comfortable with magnet dashing, with Spark's moveset, with some of the stages. Because in order to successfully hyper dash in a lot of these stages, you're going to need backups. You're going to need backup plans. You're going to need something else that you can do if you fail that hyper dash, because they're just unforgiving. You'll need them. But as for the three major techs in this game, that's it. That's the things you need. Magnet dashes, exhausted magnet dashes, hyper dashes. I would also say you can do hyper dashes with some of the other abilities. For example, Cloud Shot, the ability that allows you to change your gravity, decrease your gravity. You can do hyper dashes with those. We call those cloud dashes. They're not really used in the run too much, but they are good to know if you just need a good tech. I also forgot an ability here. Are there any real bad run killing stages? There are two at the very end. Not at the very end, but like near the end, at least for me. I'll show them off in the New Game Plus run because, frankly, they're not too they're not too flashy. But first, I do want to talk some about some of the more niche tech in this game that you don't see too often, but are still useful to know. First and foremost, we're going to load into the wall jumping tutorial here to showcase something that we've started calling dash jumping. So, if we run up to this arrow, which is a very good height measurement, you can see Spark jumps up to this second arrow. However, we're going to do a dash before it, and you can see Spark jumps up to that third arrow. We don't even have to be like running towards the wall or anything. Spark will just do it as long as we dash. And just to show you again, second arrow, do a quick dash, third arrow. Dashing before a jump actually gains you more height, which allows you to, of course, get more height and give you a higher jump. It's pretty straightforward. Dash jumping is something that, at least personally, I don't use too much. But I've watched Squish, current world record holder, run this game. He uses them literally everywhere. He like constantly does them. I don't know if it's a skill differential, but they're useful. They're really good. Dash jumping will definitely help you just get that little bit of extra height if you need it. So dash jumping, just dash before a jump. That's all you need. Next, we're going to load into a new stage to show off 2 more techniques. So here, District 79. This game has a lot of mandatory combat sequences. I do the quotation marks on purpose because no, they aren't. So we're going to swap over to Reaper here. Reaper is one of the Jester powers that Jester powers, I don't know if we actually talked about them. They're just different characters. They have different abilities. So Reaper has this big scythe, different attacks here. Also a different dash that we'll talk about when we talk about the technique that we've loaded up with him for. Initially, I'm gonna start the stage out here with a magnet dash, collect these little energy capsules, avoid these enemies, and the Jester swipe can go through walls. Those are called Jester swipe flips. They're not super common, but they're good to know about, just in case, because some stages do use them. So we can completely avoid that mandatory combat sequence. And then this is a Reaper clip. We're now out of bounds here, and the way Reaper clips work is actually pretty straightforward. This also is does not work in patch 1.2. But Reaper clips, all you have to do is dash against a wall, and against certain walls, not all walls, just certain ones. It's most of the time the outside walls of certain stages, but if you dash against them, Reaper has an invulnerable dash. We'll show it off here, just go into the mandatory fight sequence and have someone attack me, and to get hit anyways. Okay, please. Okay, cool. This is nice. We have this little arrow here floating. If we touch it, we'll get damaged. If we dash through it... Okay, this was a bad idea. I'm going to restart the checkpoint and just turn around because I forget there are these little red things. Okay, these will deal damage to you if you touch them, unless you dash through them. Reaper has an invulnerable dash. That invulnerable dash allows you to clip through certain walls. I believe if I come up here, we'll be able to do it on this wall, but maybe not. Regardless, it's what you saw earlier in this stage, what allowed us to skip a lot of the stage, and we're just gonna hop to the bottom here. Boom. Alright, skip that mandatory fight sequence, and then into the goal. That was a really slow one, but I was just showing it off, so. 2 more techniques, Reaper clips and then Jester swipe clips. I will say Reaper is not the only person who can do those clips. And for that, I'm going to load into Shop Hollow once more and show you 2 more techniques. First, I'm going to equip Fark here. Fark, another one of our Jester powers, can just do different things. I'll talk some more about the different Jester powers when we do the New Game Plus run, but in general, they just have different properties. You can play around with them. They're all really straightforward characters. This is Lost Ravine, and we're gonna boot up Fark here. It just starts out with this very long rail grinding segment, which I'm gonna get enough energy to do an energy dash here. And boom, we're gonna hyper dash off there and come to this tunnel. The reason we come to this tunnel is because it's a tube where Fark can just run around. This game does gravity shifting shenanigans. If we, for example, come out here, we can see Fark on this slope will now run upside down. And if I could, there we go. All right. So whenever you're on a sloped wall, you get different gravity. It's very similar to most Sonic games. But we can do some funny stuff with this gravity. If we go upside down and time a jump to when we lose gravity, you can see we're definitely not in bounds right now. We are out of bounds. You can probably tell by the floating buildings. That is called a gravity clip. Gravity clips are used in a lot of different stages. It's not actually used in this stage, surprisingly, unless you're playing any percent, but it's not actually used in this stage. This stage is actually done using a Reaper clip, just like we did earlier. But good place to show off that you can do this clip since it has a tube. And this is an any percent safe route because, of course, we don't have Fark, we don't have Reaper during any percent. So you can use this to get out of bounds, and we use this in a few stages to complete them faster, which you'll definitely see during the New Game Plus route. Next, I'm just going to show that you can do them with Fark, because Fark also has an invulnerable dash. In fact, he has 2 invulnerable air dashes, which makes him a very good character, very versatile in the air. But otherwise, I only have 4 more things to talk about in the tech realm, and I'm going to go over them all real fast because, for the most part, they're all pretty straightforward. So this game, very controversially, has a fall damage timer on it. If you fall for too long, you're going to die. You can cancel it using a jump, a dash, or a charged dash, or landing on a slope, but right before the timer expires. All pretty straightforward. You're gonna see that last thing in case it wasn't too clear, but hopefully the other 3 things were clear. The fall damage timer is actually just a little red bar, or red circle, where if the little bar that counts down on it runs out, you'll end up dying. So you'll see it right here. That little red bar, if it runs out, most of the time, sometimes it has graphical glitches, I'm not really sure why, you'll die. And if we land on a slope there, we can actually cancel it out. I'm going to restart the checkpoint here to explain the Hyper Surge ability that we just equipped. So on the bottom D-pad, we have Hyper Surge equipped right now. Hyper Surge, I'm not going to use. You're going to have to not see it yet. You'll see it in a little bit. Hyper Surge is an ability meant for combat. It's a big old explosion that when you are near an enemy, it'll deal a lot of damage. Well, for a very long time, we wanted to find a way to cancel out the fall damage timer here. Because if you look down there, you can see the idea. If you fall down there, the goal is at the bottom of this very, very long hole. So we looked for a very long time. There was a way in New Game Plus runs, or IL runs of this stage, to do that without any abilities, just using a character called Safarx. This dude, this freak, this weirdo. We found a way to use it with him. It only works in 1.0, it got patched out in 1.1. So, back to the drawing board. And also, it's not even good for any percent, so we don't really care. So, eventually we found out that the Hyper Surge ability stops your air momentum. Now we need a way to stop the Hyper Surge, because Hyper Surge takes 4 energy bars, takes the full thing. Eventually we found out a way. Like I said, this game has combat. In that combat system, there's a blocking ability, where if you just press the left bumper, the spark will do a quick block. You can hold it down to hold the block, but for us, we're not going to do that. And that allows us to cancel Hyper Surge, which leads to the Infinite Fall. Very controversial ability here, technique here rather. This allows us to fall to the very end of the stage. People hate it because they think it's lame because you're falling for 2 minutes in this stage, and also 4 or 5 minutes in another stage right after this. Personally, I love this ability, I love this tech, but it only works in 1.1. This additionally got patched out in 1.2, which is the current patch as of recording this show, but this doesn't work anymore in patch 1.2. I'm staying on 1.1 for now. It's gonna hopefully stay the fastest, but maybe not. Its current world record is on 1.2 right now, but I still think that 1.1 is faster, because 1.2 loses a minute in this stage and a decent chunk of time in the next stage that you'll see during New Game Plus, because I'm not going to spoil it yet. But Infinite Fall is just falling for a very long time. It really is. But I think there's something beautiful in knowing the game mechanics so well that you can exploit it for stuff like this. I really like it. However, it is just falling. I'll be real about it. It is just falling. But all you need to do this technique is just use the Hyper Surge and then immediately press the parry button, and you'll be able to just cancel out the Hyper Surge. There's a good frame to use it. Good frame, quote unquote, that where you'll not slow down time, because Hyper Surge slows down time when it's activated, but it's negligible time loss, and I think the game timer slows down anyways, so don't worry about it too much. I would really recommend beginners don't do that, but when you're ready for it, definitely worth it. It saves a good chunk of time in the last few levels. That's Deep Descent, which is big ol' fall. There's another level in this game where we fall for 5 minutes. You get a little sneak peek there. I'm not going to show it off yet, because we have a New Game Plus run. But we'll see it again shortly. Next, I want to talk about float clips. I didn't even equip float, so off to a great start. We're going to back out of this level. Why I equip float? Any good questions that you've seen?
Let's see. Not yet. I think you've been covering things really, really well. And also, just a reminder to everyone that if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in chat. But also, if you are watching the YouTube version of this and you have any questions, you can check Shovelclaws out over at either twitter.com/shovelclaws or twitch.tv/shovelclaws, and it would be very happy to assist with getting you into the game, answering other questions that aren't covered in this tutorial, and, you know, just generally being awesome, showing off more speedrun content for this game. And actually, are you just trying to get to a point in the stage to showcase something?
I'm just about there. You can keep chatting.
Cool. Just
I'm gonna take care of these.
Claws runs a lot of different things.
I do. I admit it. I am a bit of a variety speedrunner, but this game has been my obsession recently. So you're not getting much out of me for a while. This is the point of the stage that I wanted to talk about. Hello? Okay, cool. That was weird. That guy. No, I'm trying to. Okay.
What is?
There's a point to what I'm doing. I think I have to restart the stage. Okay. So this is Float. Float is the new character that added to our arsenal. Float has a really, really weird technique that's used in this singular stage that I want to show off because I think it's really funny. So we're gonna get back to that point in the stage. I really should have brought Stefarks into the stage. He has a much better time killing these wall enemies. Yeah, if you have questions and you're watching the YouTube video of this, feel free to pop them in chat. Alternatively, I'm gonna be uploading this onto my channel as well. So feel free to just hop over to youtube.com, search Shovelclaws. You'll find me probably, all one word. And you can find me there. I would love to answer questions about this game. I love this game. And we also have a Spark Discord too, that you can find on speedrun.com/spark3. That's our speedrun.com page, with plenty of people that would help you out. You can find me, you can find a lot of ILers, you can find a lot of top runners. We like this game a lot, and so we'd be happy to bring anyone new into it. Anyways, let's try this one more time. So here, I'm going to block this enemy's attack. This little dude will actually, he's really gonna do me like this, huh? Okay, he's dead. He's gone. Well, I wonder if there's another one of these guys. I have my doubts, but maybe. Okay, nah. So this technique is used exclusively on this stage, as I said, and it's really, really silly. So I really want to do it. Let's see. in the meantime, I guess I can talk about some... Actually, I don't know what else I could talk about. I guess I could talk about combat a little bit here since I'm doing it. Just a light overview. We have a heavy attack and a light attack, and then a heavy attack combo, and then a light attack combo. And there are a lot... Okay. There are a lot of combat combos in this game.
Oh my goodness.
It's a fully fledged combat system. You don't need to know all this. Don't learn it. All you need to know, heavy attack is strong, and light attack is fast. And ultimately, you'll want to kind of swap them out for reasons we'll get into in a little bit. Let's try this one more time. So I'm going to block you. And, oh, this looks good. We're trying to get this enemy currently here through the wall, just like that. We're out of bounds in this stage. And, please. Okay. Unfortunately, we didn't get to... I don't know where I am. I'm in the void. Spark is trapped in forever, tragically. I don't know where I am. But yeah, that you saw what happened there. We just spam Jester Dash onto that. And for some reason, he goes out of bounds. I have no idea why that works. I really don't. It's used exclusively in this stage. It's a very silly strat. It's not at all useful for any runs, but I wanted to point it out. Wanted to show it off. And then next, I want to showcase Airstrip Madness here, because we have a out-of-bounds strat that also lets me talk some about... actually, wait, not Airstrip Madness. I did not mean to... I said Airstrip Madness, and I was like, in my brain, oh, I'm totally going to load into Airstrip Madness. I actually thought before this run, I want to show off this stage, Aviator Highway. This is going to take a bit to load. But it gives me a chance to talk about some cool little techniques. So, and I don't even have the right character. That's so cool. Shovel Claws Think Ahead Challenge, impossible. I'm gonna load into the shop then. So this will give me the chance to talk about the two last abilities I really want to talk about. So we'll load back into Aviator Highway. Aviator Highway is actually a vehicle stage. You don't need to know vehicle stuff at all. Hold the boost button. We'll talk more about that, more about vehicles in New Game Plus, because you'll get to see this little car guy at the start of it, for reasons that I'm not going to ruin the surprise of. Also, you can just dash through this big X wall for some reason. I don't know why. It's this stage only. But we're gonna head on over to some buildings in the distance. But this gives me a good chance to talk about a utterly useless tech that is still good to know about, I guess. So the Charge Jester Dash here, we can do frame perfect Charge Jester Dash spams to not lose any speed. You can see just how fast I'm going. And it's utterly useless because you need to be frame perfect every single time you do a Charge Jester Dash. But hey, if you're going to do them on any level, might as well be the big field, because like, what are you going to lose? All of your speed is the answer, but you know what? You can still try them. Don't do them. Just fun to point them out. And then here we're going to talk about something I've called wall dashes. So, while running in this game, you just run up to a wall and dash against it, and you'll wall run. You can also wall jump. So, boom. Press A against this wall jump. One more thing you can do is actually do a down dash off of a wall, which is where our tech comes in. So if we do a quick wall jump, we're gonna turn around, get some speed here, and do a wall dash there, and you can see that increased our speed quite a bit. We're running a lot faster now. And this tech is really niche, but it's used in a few key spots. So I don't think it's actually used on this stage like IL route or anything, but it definitely could be if I could get the damn time I want to get. This stage is really annoying to grind because it has a really long loading time. But you can use them to gain a lot of speed, and you'll see that in the last stage of our New Game Plus run. because really that's the only time that we'll be able to use them, because wall dashes require a lot of free space. If you don't have the space around you, you're going to lose speed. Also, there's the goal. This stage really is just a minute of running out of bounds. Sometimes stages just be like that.
Sometimes you just gotta.
Sometimes you just gotta run out of bounds for 2 minutes, and that's the stage. It's no one runs that stage. It's also not in any percent. So, that's kind of it as for tech in this game. One last thing we can talk about, and we're going to load into the training menu for this, is the actual combat in this game. And I do want to check how close we are to our hour 30. Okay, we have about 10 minutes. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Combat in this game is not at all simple, but you can make it simple. For any percent runners, we don't really grind combat too much. There are two key things. I'm going to restart. Can I restart the stage? Okay, cool. I didn't want that guy chasing me around that whole time. There are two key things. First and foremost, of course, we have the light attack. We have the heavy attack. I did that backwards. Light attack, heavy attack. We want to use them interchangeably, because the most important thing for us as any percent runner, you can see in the top right corner, or top left, I know my directions still, after all this time, we have that combo meter. And you can see as I do combos, oh my god, let go of me. You can see as I do combos, we actually get a damage multiplier. That damage multiplier, our goal is to keep at 1.9 get it to 1.9 as fast as possible and keep it at 1.9. And the way we can do that is actually by just changing up which move we use, because this game actually has stale move negation. So if we come over, and I'm actually gonna just kill this guy first. There we go. If we come over to this guy and block this attack, thank you. If we just spam heavy attacks, you can see eventually we get pretty diminishing returns. Cool, thanks Float. Not really showing the people at home what I'm talking about here. But eventually we just kind of stagger out here. But if we do that same thing, but instead we're going to change around the combo sound, make it a bit more stylish, just use some different buttons really. This guy is now on top of my head. I've never seen that before. Thank you. Just use a bunch of different buttons, maybe throw in a charge shot there, parry that. You can see we climbed our combo meter way up, way faster. So I would highly recommend, as a beginner, just swap the combos. So when you do a light attack combo, swap over. Additionally, you have aerial combos. So if you are at the end of a combo string, what you can do is do a quick jump and then switch over to an aerial combo. And that counts as a completely different move, and you'll build up a good combo meter once again. Jump over that guy's attack, because get owned. But very useful. Additionally, you'll want to get kind of used to air juggling enemies. You can see here, that guy got completely owned because he just stayed in the air the whole time, and we ended up killing him pretty fast. Air juggling is pretty useful. I would highly recommend getting used to it. You can see me just doing jumps every now and then. There are also, additionally, if we load up the database, certain moves with the electric Jester here that we can do where he will send an enemy upwards. So you can see Skyward Slash here in the air, just press X and then hold X. And he'll do a little pew. And let's try it out. That is the wrong button. Thanks, Sparks. He's in the spin zone. Okay, we're good. Boom. And carries him all the way down, or all the way up. And then, of course, the aerial combo just sends him all the way down. And we can use that pretty nicely to juggle him in the air. That's a lot harder than it looks like. I really would just practice here in the training mode. You as a beginner, you really don't need much, but except for this light attack combo and then this heavy attack combo. We really don't. Maybe throw in a few aerials, maybe throw in a charged blast here with the right bumper. You don't need to be all stylish. But it certainly does help in going a little bit faster, doing a little bit more damage, getting that combo bit meter a little bit up. Definitely helps. I will also say, float here is actually a really big help. Float, we're actually going to bring into every combat stage during New Game Plus, and hell, we even route any percent around bringing float in to certain combat stages. Can you die, please? You're very low health. Cool, thank you. And I respawned him, damn. Anyways, we're going to restart the stage there. Float, we actually route into any percent to bring her into any optional combat stages, because this game has optional stages. You'll see it during any percent. But we want float in certain stages, and float helps a lot because of a passive she has. We'll load into the database here. If we load up float, face mark. Face mark is the ability. This will occasionally appear on enemies you attack. It's always there. I don't know why it says occasionally appear. Attacking the enemy further will make the mark expand and explode, dealing extra damage. Additionally, you don't even have to be playing as float. You can just be Spark, and as we attack this enemy, you can see this little red dot, and once it expands all the way, that little where it gets thrown up a little bit, that's the face mark ability. Face mark is great for juggling enemies, great for dealing extra damage, and even if you don't juggle, it's extra damage. Why not? It's free extra damage. So always equip float if you're planning to do combat. Of course, you don't do combat that often. Someone mentioned it earlier, if this game had boss fights. This game has a good handful of boss fights. Not all of them are conventional combat, so not all of them will just be light attack, heavy attack. You'll see that in the Game Plus run, of course. But this game does have boss fights. And that's kind of it for combat. If you're interested in learning combat really extensively, learning guides for all of the combat stages, we have a combat guide written up by Squish, and it's really great. I referenced it while, rehearsing this by myself in my bedroom. It really is a kind of a lifesaver. It made me actually better at combat in this game, because that was definitely my weakest point in this game, and now I'm actually kind of decent at combat, if I do say so myself. I said decent, not very good. But with all of that out of the way, just one last thing to showcase. And really, it's more of a pat on the back for the dev here. The dev of this game, by the way, Lake Feppard, really well known in the Sonic fan game community, made a few really great Sonic fan games. He has kept up with this game really fantastically. Granted, he has patched a few speedrun tricks, which, okay, damn, I guess, but also fair, it's his game. I won't hate him forever. Surely he'll add more cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, I'm on patch 1.1, so I can't show you everything just because I'd have to close the game and install the new patch. I'm not doing that in the middle of a show. But this right here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. These 13 stages are the 13 stages featured in Spark the Electric Jester 2. And they're all in this game for free as a part of 1.1. Best DLC of all time.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't make the rules.
So when I had Argic on Never Before Seen, my previous show in November, to run the any percent version of Spark 3 on 1.0, it was the night before 1.1 was announced. And we knew that there was going to be an announcement coming. We were speculating on what it could be. And then when it dropped the next day, I was just like, I'm sorry, what? Like, you're adding your entire second game, basically, minus like boss fights and story and stuff. But you're adding all the stages from your second game for free.
For free. It's so cool. It also, frankly, Spark 2, I don't like Spark 2 that much. Sorry. It's okay. As a speed run, though, Spark 2 is pretty terrible, because it's just switch boosting and breaking all the stages. We break stages in cool ways, such as hyper dashes. Oh, that was bad. Man, if only I could hit this strat. Somehow I'm not balling today. Unfortunately, I'm bawling, as in crying. Regardless, we're gonna hyper dash off you. I don't know why I keep going for that wall jump. It's fine. We're gonna come up here, hyper dash off you, and you can see we're just flying past the entire stage. We're just gonna land on the goal, and that's the first stage. There are 13 of these things. Just gonna say the Spark 3 speedrunning community had an absolute field day while routing these things out. And there are some stages that still, to this day, are not routed out. Please God, someone break Floria Highway. I'm so sick of running this stage. I don't even run this stage. But this stage is literally just running simulator for like 2.5 minutes with a hyper dash at the very end. Someone please break this stage. Please, I'm begging you. Regardless, this brings me to my last point, where we have a category called All Spark 2 Stages, where from a completed save file, you can use all of the upgrades, much like in New Game Plus. All you have to do, the only goal, is to beat every single Spark 2 stage. And it currently has 2 runs on the leaderboard. Can someone run this game? Okay, if you as a beginner don't want to run a category that's going to take 2.5 hours, at worst case at least, of your time, Spark 2 Stages is definitely the category for you, because it's about a 30-minute run, maybe 45 with the world map traversal, but not very much at all. We really do have something for everything. If you like really, really long categories with a lot of exploration and collection, you're a completionist 100% enjoyer, we have all collectibles. If you enjoy just... That was a weird jump. If you enjoy running fast for a bit of time, want to really be the most competitive at this game that you can be, we have any percent. If you enjoy the upgrades, you like doing the broken IL routes, just right out the gate, I will say any percent doesn't actually change that much in terms of the game. We have New Game Plus, and if you like shorter categories where you don't have to, play for an hour and then reset because you killed the run to the very last stage, has happened to me. We have all Spark 2 stages. We really do have something for everything, for everyone, and this game rocks. Also, I missed the hyper dash because of course I did. So we're gonna just run through this stage. This game really is just so cool, and if you've played it casually, if you haven't, if this game now looks super interesting, super cool to you, go play this damn game. I'm sick of recommending it to people and people ignoring me. Damn it! This is my Joker moment. This game is so sick. It really is. There's a reason I'm running it on this show. I don't think I've put it down since August. Maybe a little bit for like AGDQ prep, since I had Lamb to prepare for, but and like other stuff as I play games. I'm a variety runner, damn it. This game is so damn cool, and it's been my speedrunning obsession for the past few months, and hopefully you've seen in this tutorial at least why I think it's so cool. That's it for the tutorial. So, time, smiley face. That's all I have for the tutorial. Of course, if you have questions, you can still ask them during the New Game Plus run. Totally fine. This game is absolutely amazing, and you're going to see a lot more of it as we go into our New Game Plus run. So I'm really excited to showcase this, because this is the first ever recorded New Game Plus speedrun, I think. I haven't done any New Game Plus runs. I said I would. I was like, hey, Amber, I promise I'm going to practice. And
I think you did like a run, right?
I tried doing a run, and I just got tired. I was like, okay, I'm not feeling it today. Spark kicks your ass sometimes. It's okay. I haven't done a run. But I have practiced the ILs, so hopefully that'll be enough. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for the tutorial. Amber, if you'd like to take it to the break screen.
Absolutely. So I just want to remind everyone that we do have a New Game Plus run right after this, but we're going to be taking a wellness break first. And if you are watching on YouTube, you should press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. It'll put likes in the like bucket. And also go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, which starts weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And that SGDQ 2023 is coming up May 28th, that's my birthday, to June 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Attendee registration opens up on March 13th, so that is not very far away from now. It's like 4 days from now. Go to GamesDoneQuick.com for more information on that. So we will be right back in just a few minutes, so get up, stretch, get some water, get a snack, and strap in because we've got a New Game Plus run for this game coming right up. Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of Passion Project, the variety show that encourages anyone in the speedrunning community to showcase the projects that they've been working on. My name is Amber Cypern, I'm the host, and I'm joined by Shovel Claws, following up its tutorial on Spark the Electric Jester 3. We're going to be showcasing the first ever New Game Plus run of the category. So I'm really excited about this because we saw snippets of what you can do in this game throughout the tutorial when you're going really fast and not stopping to explain everything. And I am positive that Claus is going to be able to showcase a lot of breakneck platforming, basically.
Yeah, I am very excited for this. The only downside is that this is an ILing, so I can't constantly restart. But should be fine. I do want to check. My IGT is not working. We're going to have to restart live split. Yippee. Don't know why. Really don't. We'll see if it works now. Awesome. Cool. So it's staying at 0 means that it works. This is the New Game Plus screen. Many people probably haven't seen this. But we're gonna just hop into it. Combat, we're going to keep on Easy Jester. It's the fastest way to get through the game. Platforming, keep it on normal, give us the most control. New Game Plus, we're going to keep all of our upgrades, all of our powers, all of our characters. This game, or this category, will have a lot of menuing in it, but certain stages will save a ton of time, and overall should just go a bit faster. Estimate should account for this, hopefully. But we're going to go ahead and just proceed. I'm pressing the right bumper instead of the left bumper because I am very good at directions, as you've probably seen in the previous tutorial section. But we're going to start out this game with the actual first stage. This is the one vehicle section you're getting in this game. There are a few vehicle sections in this game, and I guess this is as good a time as any. Also, start the timer. I did not say that. Oopsie. But a few vehicle sections in this game where we're gonna just drive fast and also avoid most of the vehicles. You'll see one other vehicle 2 times, or 3 times actually, 3 times. But we'll talk about that when we get there. As for a car, I'm going to crash it and hopefully not tip the car over. We'll see.
Shoutouts to Argic.
Shoutouts to Argic. Also, if you tip the car over, you can restart from the checkpoint. You can also reset the car by pressing in the left bumper. I am not doing good at this race car section. That's okay. Race car is pretty straightforward, at least for what I see, as I just... Man, I can't catch a break here. That's okay. Race car, pretty straightforward. We're going to drift corners to get that little speed boost there. We're going to use our boost to keep a top speed of about 350. I did not do that. So we're opening this run up well. It's okay. Alpine Carrera is the one stage that can go wrong. I'm okay with this. So here's Spark. You've already met the dude. We're going to swap over to Sparks. So Sparks actually, thank you. Sparks actually has a bit of a higher acceleration and a top speed and a higher jump. So we're going to use him a lot during this run. He also has a better little finger gun. However, the annoying thing is when he uses just his default finger gun, he does unfortunately stop for some reason. I don't know why. I will hop into the Shop Hollow real quick to make sure we have all of our right equipment. We do. Those 3 power-ups are mostly what we'll need during this run, so we're going to load it into Double Moon Villa, where this stage is going to go a lot faster. Because in any percent, we actually use this stage as a good time to collect bits. I mean, we're here, we need some upgrades, might as well, but unfortunate. Here in in New Game Plus, we're actually just going to use this time to go fast. Since we have all the upgrades, we don't really need to worry about anything. A bit of an awkward start there, but that's fine as we have this Magnet Dash. Hopefully a good Jester swipe there. I'm going to dive through the little boulder. And up there. I'm going to actually do a Hyper Dash off you to get some extra speed. And then on over to you. And boom, a 46-second time. Pretty good, pretty solid. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it for a no reset Double Moon.
This game is just really satisfying to watch.
It's so satisfying, it really is. It's definitely one of those games where you'll see it and you're like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. And that's what happened to me. Skip through that cutscene. Once again, the IGT stops whenever we're in this overworld segment, so we're actually gonna hop in the shop here to do a quick animation cancel, where we have all these stages loading in, but we're just gonna avoid them by avoiding them, going into the shop. It cancels out the animation. Here we have the Jester Dash tutorial. Okay, I forgot about that ability of Safarix. Okay, whenever you swap to Safarix, he'll destroy stuff around him. I forgot. Here in the Jester Dash tutorial, we're actually going to try to Hyper Dash off an enemy. And then use some Cloud Shots to go into the goal. That was perfect. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Having Cloud Shot there is actually pretty helpful too, because we can just Cloud Shot into the goal a little bit. Pretty nice. I see someone in chat saying they like Spark's jacket. Me too. I also like Spark's jacket. Spark's jacket is cool. I like it. Here we have slope jumping. This stage doesn't change. So, this is a great time to talk about freedom medals. You may be wondering, why are we doing these challenge stages? They seem like tutorials. That is because they are. However, they're very fast stages to go ahead and get out of the way. They're very low risk as well. We don't risk making too many mistakes here, hopefully. If I'm playing well, at least. So, why are we doing them? Well, that's because after each stage we beat, we get something called a freedom medal. You can see right here, that freedom medal counter, 4. We have 4 freedom medals now. We need these freedom medals in order to unlock stages and eventually beat the game. So we're just going to go through stages and collect as many freedom medals as we can. We cut out 6 stages in this run because it's just a bit faster, of course. Here we're going to Jester swipe off you. And unfortunate, we hit that bubble there instead of just going past it. Hyper dash off you, and all the way off that ramp. We're gonna hit. Okay, this is fine. We're gonna magnet dash off that bubble and into the goal, and that was a perfectly fine high-rise tracks. This game likes to swap it up a lot, and additionally has a lot of optional side stages, so we'll get to see plenty of them throughout this run. Like I said, we're going to skip 6 stages. There are, I believe, 7 mandatory ones that we're going to have to see always. For example, Double Moon Villa and Alpine Carrera. Have to see them. They're along the main path. But we're going to see plenty of these side ones. This is Cold Dry Desert now, where this is our first stage variant. Okay, thankfully we got our speed back off that little ramp, but otherwise that would have been a bit bad. And nothing matters because we hit that. That's fine. So, as I said, this is our first stage variant. This is an escape stage, which just adds a timer. We have a timer going already. It's Spark. Get with the program a bit, you know. So, we're going to just go as fast as we can, as we would with any other stage. You know how it is. Next, we unlock this boss, but we're going to ignore it for a little bit, right, because we have 2 more stages here in Double Moon. Just going to cut out some menuing. This is the Charged Jester Dash tutorial. This is where dash jumps come in pretty handy, because we can jump up these little jumps that are a bit hard, a bit tricky without it. I think kind of impossible, actually, but, you know, is what it is. Additionally, Sepharx's higher jump also kind of helps out here. But otherwise, we're just going to go through and boom. This is honestly a pretty relaxing stage. The beginning of this run here can be really, really punishing. It kind of sets the stage for how the rest of your run will go. Do you need 7 freedom medals, though? You need a total of, I believe, 37 in order to beat the game, or at least that's what you'd get by the end of the game. But you need 6 to get to the first boss fight here, which we'll see after AM Village. AM Village here is a coin collection stage, and this is another point in any percent where we'd just route out a bunch of our bit bubbles here, but we're actually going to completely ignore them because we don't need any bits. We have all the upgrades already, right? So our goal now is to just collect all of these coins as fast as we can. We're gonna hop on over to you and faceplant on the ground. Thank you, Spark, or I guess Sepharx. We're gonna come on over here to you, hop over here, and our last one right here, 41-second time, pretty solid, pretty decent. We're good. Shout out to SpecWee, love SpecWee. That magnet dash is so hard. I've tried it a bunch myself. The speedrun for the tech for this game is so cool. Hard agree, smiley face. As I said, magnet dash is pretty tricky. You can definitely get them down. The timing is a lot more lenient than it used to be. Here is Sawman, and we're going to swap over to Sepharx for this. Sawman requires us to parry him from the start, but we're actually going to just immediately parry and then block, go crazy attacking him. As I said, Sepharx has a different ability on his finger gun. He has this pretty long pretty long finger blast laser beam, which is very useful. We're going to see if we can actually pick up Hyper Surge here, but I kind of have my doubts. Yeah, no, we just kill him faster. I've actually gotten faster 90% Sawman's. That's a bit embarrassing. Whatever. Sepharx deals quite a bit of damage himself, but you kind of have to be really solid at his combos. Totally fine. Totally chill. This next stage coming up, we're actually going to do something a bit different, a bit unexpected. We're going to swap to Challenge Jester, which makes this already pretty difficult stage a lot harder. This is Lost Riviera. You'll see why we swapped over our difficulty in a bit, but we're going to swap over to Sepharx, do a magnet dash off you, and fall to our death. Awesome. Totally fine. I have a backup here. I did a cloud shot there, thankfully. But we're going to come over to this bit bubble and hyper dash off you. Hyper dashes, of course, very fast. And I hit the booster that slows you down. That's annoying. We're going to hit you. That's fine. Okay. Lost Riviera is not going well right now, but that's fine. Uh-oh. I did not mean to magnet dash off you. There we go. So, we have some energy. We're gonna hyper dash off you. Come on up here. Do an energy dash here to fly across to this bubble. Hyper dash off this. Aim for this rail, and okay, we hit a rail. I'll take it. Quite frankly. I'm gonna energy dash there and then land on this rail. A bit slow here and also a bit low on energy, so I'm actually gonna hop around down here to come over to this energy bubble. And boom. We have a lot of energy now. I'm gonna hyper dash off this enemy. That actually went really well. And hit the wall. Great. So you may notice right now we're actually at 1 health. There is a reason for this that we'll get into right after this stage, but this stage is not going particularly well. Not going particularly bad either, but, you know, a dichotomy of speedrunner. This run sucks versus, okay, I'll take it. Ow, hitting the flame there is a bit dangerous, but that's fine. We'll be chill. I wanted to hyper dash off that blue energy bubble just to get some extra speed, but that's fine. Do a Jester swipe on there. One rail mechanic that I actually didn't touch on any is actually how you can Jester swipe on rails. The game typically doesn't allow you to. Oh no, I died. That's fine. We'll just restart to the checkpoint that we hit here. Nice, another hyper dash that actually went pretty well. But the game doesn't actually let you Jester swipe on rails. But if you jump, then the game, you're not on a rail anymore, right? You kind of trick the game into allowing you to Jester swipe. I'm gonna hyper dash over here to this rail, grab a bunch of energy using our regen break, and hyper dash off this bubble straight over to the end goal here. Almost just flew off the edge, thankfully caught myself. And an 80% run, that'd be a reset, because that's not a great stage time. But we're chill, we're good, I'm surviving. And that's good enough for me, honestly. Kind of sucks, because I actually got an ILPB in that stage earlier. How do I get those dashes so consistently? Practice. A lot of practice. Lots of practice. I've played this game a lot. Anyways, that's the Guardian done. That's why we turn up our difficulty to get to 1 health. It's faster to die to the Guardian than it is to fight him. So that allows us to get through that boss fight a lot easier. We're going to hop in the shop real quick because I believe I'm going to want a different ability. Wait, will I? Wait, no, I don't think I do yet. Not quite yet. Here's a wall jumping tutorial. This is a really simple level. We're just gonna wall jump. Make sure to dash jump between each of our little walls here, because we can get a little bit extra height. And the next stage is going to be fun because it has a nice tutorial. Can vouch, it absolutely plays this game a lot. Thank you, T-Tree. Really selling me out here. But next, we're going to hop into the pause menu to change our combat difficulty back down, but I'm going to go to the wall walking tutorial. I don't know why this game calls it wall walking, because hopefully we'll showcase just how fast wall walking really is. So, wall, thank you, wall. Jump across here, gonna hop across here. A bit slow, we're gonna stop here for another charge Jester dash, get a bit of speed. Hop between these walls. Over. And pretty decent, pretty solid. A 27-second time, absolutely take it. My face when it says it was a slow time. It's true, I just have really high standards. Alright, wall walking tutorial went decently, pretty solidly. Next up is Arid Hole. And Arid Hole is another one of our coin collection stages. So we're going to collect 10 more blue coins here. Just hop on over, collect the one under all of these boxes. Do a dash over here, do a dash there. Want 2 dashes up here, but it's to get up this wall and get a bit of height. We're gonna aim ourselves to get that coin nice and easy. Gonna actually homing attack all of you. I wanted some more energy to hyper dash here, but you know what? I'll take a rail boost. I'm gonna okay, I was gonna say finger gun those guys, but then he killed me. It's fine. We have this guy. I'm gonna hop on it over to this blue coin. Surprisingly, this stage actually doesn't change that much between Indie% and New Game and New Game Plus, because we don't actually collect that many bits during that stage. I go for a few extra, just because a few extra, pretty nice. And additionally, we can buy an ability that helps us out in one of the next stages, but you don't need it. Totally don't. Next up, we have Splash Grotto here, and this is one of the fastest stages in the game. Not in time, just like in how quick you'll go. So we're gonna regen break, and I'm gonna restart the stage because that's a death. That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna rail boost here. Jester swipe here. I'm gonna restart again because that was slow. Man, unfortunate. The Splash Grotto gives me a surprising amount of trouble, and I don't know why. And that's another death. Cool. Death counter, please. This is another one of those escape stages where we have to get out at a certain amount of time. By the way, meltdown. I don't know what's happening here. That's wild.
And I'm pretty sure that you're trying to maintain the amount of speed that you start the stage with.
Not necessarily start, but yeah, there's something along those lines where we're trying to maintain our speed. I'm just going to take this one since it's fast enough and we got to this section decently quick. I probably should have just taken the first one, but I wanted to show off the stage. What can you blame me? This is where stuff gets pretty fast. Now that we have all of this energy, we're going to have some Jester swipes here. Jester swipe on this rail, thankfully didn't stop us, and
God, look at the speed.
It's so fast. It's a lot more satisfying when you play the stage correctly, but hey, what are you going to do? So, at Splash Grotto, decent smiley face. Next, we actually have another tutorial. A high speeds tutorial. This feels like a weird place to put it. It's almost as if Lake Peppered was asking for the joke to be made, where I don't need this tutorial, I already went fast. But it's another easy freedom medal, so we're going to do it. You may think, after watching the tutorial, hey, why don't you do wall dashes there, the thing where you down dash off a wall and go really fast? It's because we don't have enough space. You'll just end up flying off these sides here, which will ultimately result in a death. Thankfully, we can wall jump on here, and one small thing about wall jumping is that wall jumping will actually increase your speed. So we'll want to do it, or wall jumping between two different walls will increase your speed a lot. So we'll want to do it every now and then. When we can, it'll increase our speed. Death counter 5, fast counter, way more than 5. I appreciate that, teacher. It makes me feel a lot better for messing up that stage. Next up, we have Canyon 0. This stage makes me angry. Not because it's like annoying or anything, just because Canyon 0 is the only raid stage in this game. We're actually going to stay as Spark here because he has a move called the Spin Charge, where he charges up a big ol' spin. But yeah, this is the only stage like this in the game. Our objective here is actually to collect a certain amount of points. You can see up in the top left-ish, or top right-ish, we have a certain score goal. And the way we're going to reach it is actually pretty straightforward. We're going to swap over to Sparks here to kill this guy a bit easier, a bit faster. Collect a certain score multiplier, and then kill a very powerful enemy to allow us to collect the score that we need. And then the goal is just right behind him. And boom.
With it being the only raid stage in the game, I'm pretty sure that was because, like, with the demo of the game, like, the reaction to the raid stages was just really negative.
Yeah, people did not like the raid stages.
Yeah, that's what I recall Argic saying in his commentary for Any Percent on Never Before Seen back in November.
Where's it? There we go. Yeah, that's essentially the gist. I am not one of the raid haters. I like those stages. Next up, we have Beatdown Tower, which this is a route divergence from Any Percent. But thankfully, we don't have to worry too much about it because we have all our upgrades. Also, I totally forgot Float on Canyon 0. But the combat stage, we already have all of our combat abilities unlocked. Why not just do it now? Save some menuing. So we're going to just go through it now. And during this next wave, we're actually going to use U. That's a Hyper Surge in actual combat. No way. Regardless, we're just gonna spin slash a lot of enemies It'll deal a lot of enemies, or a lot of damage. The way you spin slash, by the way, is actually just by holding down the X button. You just hold it down. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's a really good move, particularly for big enemy groups like here. But otherwise, this is just more combat. I see we have raid fans in chat too.
Looks like we have some fans of the combat system. Like, the combat system looks like it could be really, really fun.
Once you get good at it, it's pretty satisfying, actually. I initially was a combat disliker. I did not like the combat in this game a lot. But, like, now I'd say I enjoy it. But after Beatdown Tower, we're actually done with Drinian Desert, which a lot of people will call just knockoff Rail Canyon. I disagree. But we're gonna real fast equip the Cloud Shot one more time. And also equip Float, why not? Good backup character if we need it. And then we're gonna change our difficulty to Challenge Jester, which I already did. Nice. And then load into District 5. Wait, why did I equip the things for any percent? This is a New Game Plus run. I should have practiced this category. We're gonna immediately quit out because I forgot the most important upgrade. This game, or this stage's route, is entirely different on New Game Plus. I totally forgot. So we're gonna go back and equip the Reaper Jester. So, also, yeah, a person in chat said they added a Bloody Tower style Endless Arena mode recently. The combat shines there. Totally agree. Endless Dive is awesome. But we're going to load into District 5 here, immediately hop into, do a Magnet Dash there, and, miss the jump here. Awesome. Thanks, Spark. And climb up here. Here, we're going to climb up this tree branch. And, hopefully have enough energy to do this, but clip through here and clip back out. Awesome. Thanks, Reaper. We're going to charge up a Charge Jester Dash, do an Energy Dash here, and then fly across the stage. This stage is one big loop. We're now at the end. So, I think I grabbed that checkpoint. I hope I did, because if I die here, that'd be awkward. We just beat the stage really fast. This stage actually recently got a strat development in any percent new game, where we can beat the stage in like a minute 30-ish. Doesn't beat this strat though, because we just clip through the wall, go to the ending auto-scroller here, and that's District 5 done in a minute and 2 seconds. Very solid stage time, especially for that weird strat where the IL record actually doesn't take that auto-scroller at the end. I'm bad at that strat. I don't do it. I've also never actually successfully done it. And then here we have the Guardian once more. Goodbye, Guardian. Thank you. Also, yeah, we do actually, that sequence break does some weird visual stuff to District 5, where the ending there is supposed to all be on fire, but we don't hit the trigger for it all to be on fire, so it just has this weird red glow at the bottom. It's really ominous, actually. It's kind of weird. Next, we're going to go into District 6. This stage actually doesn't change from any percent to new game. We're going to turn around, and I hit this energy bubble, and hyper dash off you, straight up here. This is the most optimal version of it. World record on this stage is 9 seconds and 0.1 milliseconds by me. I don't know how I did that. World record before was like a 10-second time, and weirdly got very close to sub 9. I'm not doing that run ever again. It was pure luck. Anyways, we're going to go into next District 4, which I'm going to make sure I have my combat abilities equipped first. We do not have... Actually, wait. No, we're going to do a different stage since I have Reaper equipped. We're going to go back to Drinian Desert. I know I said we were done with this. It's okay, I haven't practiced this category. I gotta get an excuse. We're going to go back to Lost Ravine here. We saw this stage earlier during the tutorial segment, but we're gonna do the actual strat here. So, once again, we're gonna come on over to this little bubble and fail the hyper dash. Awkward. We might be able to still do it. I'm going to collect more energy by destroying some property. Property damage gives you energy, folks. I can't say that. Get my lawyer, please. And fail the hyper dash once again. Shout out to the chatter who said I was consistent at these things. And missed the rail. Okay, we're restarting the stage. That's totally fine.
It looks like you went through that rail like at least 3 times.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Everything's under control.
I'm never gonna hit this hyper dash again. That's a travesty. Anyways, let's try this one more time. There we go. That's fine. I'm gonna come up here and do another Reaper clip over to this wall, which just happens to be the correct angle that we can actually run up it. Energy dash up here, swap over to float just in case. Energy dash here, and into the goal. I actually recently got world record on that stage. Also, float died at the end there because I didn't swap my difficulty back. That's awesome. Thank you, float. But that's Lost Ravine. I did recently get world record on that stage. Not very fun. Would not recommend. And next, we're gonna avoid all of Protest Prison here, and just immediately go into Downtown Descent. I didn't equip Sparks. It's fine. We'll just do it with Spark. Why not? We're gonna immediately turn around. You saw this route already, but now you get to hopefully know a little bit more about what's actually happening here. So hyper dash off you. We're gonna aim for a hyper dash off this guy, but thankfully, even if we miss it, there is a bubble here that will send me straight up to this building. I don't think this building has anything for me, but I think just below there's a good backup. Okay, we'll go with you. I'm gonna clear out the bits here because I don't like that. Anyways, that's fine. That works. You get to see some of the crowd. Hi guys, I know you love me. I'm gonna magnet dash off you, come up here, and hyper dash off you. Nice, let's go. I'm gonna do a cloud shot here just to maintain our height a little bit, and unfortunately it didn't get enough height there, so we're just gonna fall down to this little pulley that will bring me up. And okay, awesome. We're fine. I'm gonna just hop on over to you, do a height. Never mind. Thanks, Spark. Spark's really cooperating today, and I appreciate that. Collect some energy, just energy dash over this way. Alright. This is fine. This is fine. Everything is burning down, but it's fine. And a hyper dash off you over to this energy bubble. Hyper dash off you. Nice. We're going to do a cloud shot here for some extra height. And just a swipe there for a redirect right into this bubble. This bubble really sucks. That's fine. We're a bit low for the optimal route, but we'll take the second best case there, which is making it to you. And off we go. Thank you, enemy, for redirecting me. This is the spaceship. That's at least what I'm calling it, the spaceship. Has a little fire that you can burst through. Also has a little boost button. It's technically fastest to spam it, but I'm not doing that. Also can go up and down. At the end here, there's a mini boss that the stage wants you to beat. You just knock out all of its orange weak points. Alternatively,
I really love
mandatory combat, smiley face. Yeah, no, we don't fight. We don't fight anything in this game. Sorry, folks. Next up, you're gonna see more spaceship because we have strike sewers here. Once again, it doesn't really change between New Game and New Game Plus. We're just gonna do a charged dash here. I should really re-equip Sepharix just to get that always a faster move speed, huh? Well, we're gonna knock out some of these enemies and wedge ourselves between that little pipe and the edge. I was really close to clipping back in bounds there, but that's fine. And then on we go. So we're out of bounds right now. And we're going straight ahead here. Because... See that? See that? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, shiny. There we go. Easy clap. Just on through the goal, and we're good. We're off. We're out of there. Next up, we unlock Squabble Spillway. Very simple coin collection stage here. We're just gonna get... This stage is quite silly, so we're gonna immediately turn around. There's just one hidden behind you. Also, I did not re-equip Sepharix because, of course, I wouldn't. Collect this coin. We're gonna land on this slope here, not lose all of our speed, but of course, at least try not to, and then do anyways, because... Man, I remember being good at this game. Oh, I'm so old and groggly now. No, don't take me on the pulley, man. Please. Okay, we're gonna grab all of the coins here. Honestly, this run's gone fine so far. I'm probably behind my any percent run, but also my any percent run is like pretty good. And also it loses a minute and a half in the end game, so that's Squabble Spillway. Pretty simple stage. There are some coins there that we avoid collecting just because they're a bit slow. Thankfully, we can just head on over to some better ones. Okay, I'm going to re-equip Sepharix here, because Sepharix, once again, faster move speed, faster acceleration. We're going to replace him with Reaper for now. And next is going to be Residential Rattle. Residential Rattle can be beaten in one hyper dash. You'll see it here, hopefully. I've been getting a bit trolled by this stage recently. But that's fine. Also, hello, Explorer Medal that hasn't gone collected. You'll go uncollected one more day. We're gonna hyper dash off you, and boom, into the goal. Easy. Also, we skip a lot of mandatory combat sequences in that stage, because that stage is very combat heavy. Mandatory combat, my beloved. Next up, we have, what is this stage? Roadway Rally. I actually recently improved this IL by a good few seconds, because I added a hyper dash to it. I like doing that. You may have noticed. We're not going to do that strat, because it's stupid hard and doesn't save that much time. Instead, we're just going to run across Jester Swipe. It's faster to take Spark, or I guess in this case, Sepharix, through the road and run up this wall. This wall will take us to air. And then charge a dash over to aim for this building here. I do have float in my back pocket just in case, but didn't even need her. We're just gonna hop on over to this building. Do a few down dashes, go a bit fast, and splat. Into the goal. 43 is actually very good on that stage, honestly. The IL strat there actually just has energy for the entire wall run up, so you do like 3 energy boosts on that wall and then 1 across the building. It's really cool, because you just bring full energy into the fight. It's really sick. This is Boss on the Run. On the Run actually surprisingly changes a fair bit on New Game. So here we have this first segment where we're ship, and we will fire missiles at any undamaged weak spots. Otherwise, we're just gonna shoot and try to take them the undamaged weak spots out and build a lot of energy. We're gonna nice. That was really very fast. And here we have Float. And Float has entirely different combos. They're fine. However, Float in the new game version of this stage, Float's face mark, for some reason, I don't know why, isn't there. Float just doesn't have it. It's not activated. No clue. But in the New Game Plus version of this stage, Float does have it. For some inexplicable reason. So it makes that fight actually decently faster. I believe we're good on what we need for this stage. So we're gonna head into nighttime phenomena. This stage is so cool. I'm so happy that it's a required stage because, man, it has one of the coolest strats in the game. You saw it earlier during the tutorial, but if you didn't, we're gonna hop on over to this bubble, do a hyper dash off here, and aim for down here. Hopefully don't die to fall damage. Was cutting it real close. Then charge up a dash, hit the checkpoint while we're deleted, charge up a dash, and boom, we're home free. Also, did I mention you can hyper dash off enemies? I actually got it first try. Let's go.
That hyper dash was very kind.
It was not kind earlier, so I'm glad we got a redemption arc. Avoid this booster. Hop on up. Whew, okay. Thankfully, Spark has a lot of tools to kind of save himself. Also, I'll happily grab that. Nice. Got another hyper dash. I'm gonna go for something stupid here. Oh, okay, I deserve that. So I actually have IO world record on this stage. It was a doozy. I actually missed that second hyper dash on that enemy, but I actually made up for it by having a really stupid strat work for me pretty perfectly. So in that rail grinding section right before that unavoidable combat sequence, actually unavoidable in this moment, you can actually hyper dash off you can actually do an exhausted magnet dash and go super fast on the rails. It's crazy cool. You can see it in my world record on this stage because I actually hit it. And it saved the world record. But this, I'll actually take. That's a really, really good time on the stage, actually. A 147. Wait, I want to check speedrun.com real quick. I'm sorry, I don't know what my best time on this stage is. I think it's like a 38. Also, our IL boards are absolutely unnavigable. Shout out to speedrun.com.
I've got it. What level is that?
Nighttime phenomena.
Right there. 1.1? 138.
138. I got a 146. That's
still really good.
Ooh, that's a really good run. Here we have Dropship Daybreak. This is Nighttime Phenomena's coin collection stage. Here we're gonna restart from checkpoint while collecting that second coin, very similar to the death strat you saw in Nighttime Phenomena. We're also gonna charge up a Sephark's laser beam because a very easy way to take care of those walls. Nighttime Phenomena is very nice. Historia Hysteria is this district's name. Very nice with those walls because you can just absolutely destroy them with Sephark's laser beam. I'm gonna hop into this ship, and have I mentioned yet you can hold up, wait. No, wait. That you can hyper dash off enemies. Have you heard that yet? I'm gonna hop on up here, grab you. We're actually gonna just do a simple magnet dash off this. You grab the actual, thank you, and then do a few energy dashes, thank you, over to this coin. Cool. So, solid dropship daybreak. Totally chill. I'm chilling. I'm big chilling. Next up, we actually have Heaven Park. I hate this stage, but we'll see if it goes well. Hopefully it does. Swap over to Sephark's and do a few Jester swipes. Ride this rail, do another few Jester swipes. Also, flashing Elias warding here, probably. The stage gets... I did not mean to press Y. Stage gets real weird when going fast because of these brick tiles. But we're gonna do that one more time. Just a bunch of Jester swipes here, avoiding the obstacles, not pressing the X button. Sephark's has this really annoying thing where he slows down instantaneously when he does an attack. It's really annoying. I'm gonna do a magnet dash off you, do a energy dash afterwards, aim up through the hole, and Jester swipe off you. Energy dash there. Upcoming is a hyper dash, and we missed it. Unfortunate. We're gonna try you. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, I'm chill not hitting that because it's pretty rough. I'm gonna hop on down. I shouldn't have hopped down here, actually. Probably should have done it later, but totally fine. I'm gonna charge up again, just so we can hit this easy. And, we're gonna do boom. All right, that was a fine Heaven Park, honestly. Much worse than my PB. Heaven Park gets me in a lot of trouble. It's a pretty heavy reset point, honestly. Next up, we're actually gonna skip 2 more stages to the right here. We're gonna just go immediately into boss throwback. This thing is a nightmare. We're hoping it goes well. Boss throwback is absolutely the hardest boss in the stage because we have 3 bosses and we want to one cycle them all. So, ow, this is not starting off well. I did not bring Hyper Search into this stage. That's very bad, actually. None of those hit me. That's wild. Anyways. There we go. That's one of them down. I have to really focus for this guy. Or for this fight, honestly. I'm gonna jump up, use our finger gun there since we have it. That's Rhino Dino defeated. The whole gimmick of this boss fight is that its old boss is coming back to throw down with Spark instead of Fark this time, because in Spark the Electric Jester 2 you actually play as Fark. I don't know why you don't take damage to that attack sometimes, I can't lie. This is Shadow Double, he's a lot harder. He's also very annoying. And boom, there we go. That was a pretty decent throwback, honestly. A 107, I'll take it. I'll happily take that, in fact. It can go a lot worse. Throwback's probably my worst boss, in all honesty. But next up, we have Airstrip Madness. I love this stage. This stage is a lot of fun. It actually recently got a reroute, so you're going to see that right here. I'm going to charge up a Charge Gesture Dash, run up this wall with Float, and just constantly spam the Jester Dash on up this wall, hoping to get a solid wall jump through there. I'm going to charge up a dash through there, swap over to Farks, since he goes fast. Do another charge dash here. And boom, boom. One easy way to gain a lot of speed is by down dashing on ledges over and over, and then we have some wall dashes here, some routed in. Thankfully, we just have this large out-of-bounds area to cross over, so hey, might as well get some extra speed. I'm gonna hit this booster, perfect. And go into this plane. Do not board planes like this, kids. Please use TSA's systems and regulations. Also, do not exit planes like this. No, I was really hoping to get that first try because it'd make it a lot funnier. This is a tube gravity clip. We call this tube clip, I think, but we don't really name individual strats. This thing is very annoying. We're gonna avoid the Jester swipe there because sometimes those bits have a tendency to launch you backwards. But boom, right through the airplane. That was a decent Airstrip Madness. Man, I'm calling a lot of things decent here, huh? Alright. We have 3 more stages unlock, and we're actually going to do just 3. But, you know, one of them we're not going to do, you know, right here. This is Mayday Midday. This is actually the first stage that I learned that gravity clips were a thing. So we're going to collect a bunch of energy here by destroying a bunch of enemies. Ow. I did not mean to run into you. I don't have... Ooh, actually, now I have enough energy to do the funny strat. I might not. Okay, we're going to swap over to Float here for this clip. There we go. Just energy dash there. Safarx gives me a hard time with these clips for some reason. I don't love it. Now Float is too. That's great. Alright. That's fine. Into the goal. That was a fine Mayday midday. That was fine. Can we get a lawyer check on entering and exit planes? I would love to know the laws for that, because clearly Spark does not, and he should probably get a lawyer. Alright, next up we have 2-stage liftoff. I hate this stage with a passion because I can never hit the IL strat. We'll see if it goes well. Swap over to Sepharix, of course. Do an energy dash there. And do a bunch of jumps to just swipe there. And what do you know? I didn't hit the IL strat. That's fine. I have a good backup here. We're gonna do another energy dash off of, or another hyper dash off an enemy. Who would have known? Just like that. That was actually a really solid backup. Have you heard that you can hyper dash off enemies? Why have I never heard of this game series before? Need. Yeah, that's accurate. Spark is an indie game series by one person, so that's probably why. And also, I'll save the rant for next stage. But I have a rant incoming. This is Suborbital Scramble. This stage is the stage I lost a minute 30 on in my any percent world PB right now. Because this hyperdash is very annoying, and we got it first try. That's crazy.
Yo, let's go.
I just can't do it in any percent, I guess. We didn't get quite the height I wanted, though, which makes this a bit awkward. Should be fine. We do have float. We also have now you. Also, ooh, I get to show off a cloud dash, maybe. Whatever. We're just gonna... Okay, well, never mind. That's fine. Oh, right. I guess I failed to mention, float actually can't magnet dash. So maybe it was a bad idea to do it with her, attempt a similar attack with float. Anyways, we got that very cleanly, very, very one first try, which I'll absolutely take. All right. This is Mecha Madness. We're just going to spam jump attacks because it stun locks the boss. So, as we load in. Also, I hope we have some anime fans here because this is a huge mecha. But yeah, just jump. We do one light attack, one heavy attack, and boom. For the most part, stun locks our enemy 12 pixels. I can't read that name. I don't know why playing on low settings does that to his name. Like, look at the texture, look at the crunch, I love it. And avoid this attack. And boom. Anyways, rant time, since upcoming we have another tutorial stage. We have 3 stages left, by the way. We have 3 stages left. Wait, we have 3 stages left. We have 3 stages left. That's it. That's all. That's all. We have 3 stages left, and as you can see, we have... how much time is that on the estimate? 30 minutes? We have 3 stages left? Yeah, we have 3 stages left. It's okay.
Yeah, we've got about 30 minutes on the clock for you.
Yeah. No, the final 3 stages take that long. We have a tutorial here about fall damage. Why are you getting a tutorial this late into the game? It's fine. Fall damage, I've went over it, but we'll go over it one more time. As we're actually going to swap over to float. I don't trust this stage at all. And float is pretty nice. Okay. We're good. Anyways. Fall damage can be canceled in 3 ways: jump, dash, charge Jester dash, landing on landing on an inclined slope. So 4 ways really, but you know, can't really control that 4th one unless you play the stage smart. But we have a way to cancel it all, and we're gonna hop into the shop to equip the item that we need for it. So we're gonna get rid of the... Probably should have actually gotten rid of Sparks, but that's fine. Get rid of the Cloud Dash and head into Deep Descent. We've talked about this during the tutorial, but in short, we can... we can use the Hyper Surge in order to stop our momentum mid-air, and then we can block to cancel the hyper surge, taking up all of our energy, which allows us to fall infinitely. It resets the fall damage timer, and boom, can just fall infinitely. And that's what we're gonna do for these next few stages. Next 2 stages, rather. But rant time, because hopefully I won't need to focus too hard here. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. We'll see. I have it on the wrong D-pad input. I didn't realize that. Okay, that one's fair. That one's a fair death, actually. I deserve that one. Okay, let's do that, but correctly, because now I'll have it on the right, my finger on the right button. Anyways, rant time. This game gets unfairly compared to Sonic a lot. Like, a lot. To where this is this game's main selling point. I say unfairly because I think this game is completely separate from Sonic at this point. Maybe Spark 2, you could make an argument for it, but this game has enough unique ideas, enough of its own identity to where this game is now a Spark game. It's no longer a Sonic ripoff. Please stop calling this game a Sonic clone, because, I mean, you've seen in this tutorial what part of this looks like Sonic. Or you've seen in this entire run, what part of this looks like Sonic? Please. I get it. It's a high-speed platformer, and that's the only way to sell copies. But, please, stop comparing this game to Sonic. That is my rant. Very small rant. Done yet. Now. Anyways.
I was gonna say, like, the inspiration is definitely worn on its sleeve, but it is not, because Lake has the history of, like, developing Sonic before the sequel, after the sequel, and Chrono Adventure. So, like, Sonic fan games is where Lake got started in game development, but it definitely...
It's like, branched out a lot.
It's branched out a lot, and I think Spark definitely has its own identity now. There are still, like, tools in its in Spark's moves kit that like
very clearly come from Sonic.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I mean Jester
speed dash, yeah, exactly. So like,
but even then, it's used in a completely different way to where it becomes the Jester swipe. It doesn't become the light speed dash. It's different enough to where I can compare the two.
It's like, yeah, these button inputs and general ideas. Yeah, it's like these general ideas and button inputs may be similar, but the way they mechanically execute are different.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. I think on some level, a Sonic comparison is kind of needed, but it gets to a point where this game is the Sonic clone, and that's all it is. And it's, as a person who really likes this game, has put a lot of their time into this game, I think that's a bit unfair. Anyways, I'm looking at the IGT now. This run is insane.
Yeah, that is a 3431 IGT that we're looking at right now.
Interesting. Well, this last stage should take 7 minutes. Interesting. Okay.
Isn't this last stage a bit of a trip?
Yes, this is Utopia Shelter, and this, my friends, is the greatest stage in all of gaming history, at least if you ask me. This stage is really sick. We start out here with a fight against now revealed to be Flint. The story spoilers, it shouldn't matter to you unless you're a Spark fan anyways, because none of these characters you know. But start out killing Flint. Sorry, buddy. Guardian is now dead. And so we are going to start Utopia Shelter. Someone pointed out in chat, you did read this the stage intro correctly. This level has a lives system. We have 16 lives because we've collected 32 of those freedom medals, or 37. 36, I think, at this point. And then Utopia Shelter would be one more. I don't know, however many we got. Thankfully, we should only need one, hopefully, at least. But for casual players, this stage is absolutely a gauntlet. There we go. Okay, Spark is dead. That's honestly fine. Osmorn, my beloved. So, we've collected a full bar of energy, which means we can now Hyper Surge. So, we're going to turn around, run up this wall, one last gravity clip, and now we're out of bounds. And Amber, I hope you have something to fill the air for 5 minutes. I won't be able to talk much during this. We're gonna run out of bounds.
Stuff, sure.
Perfect. So, we're gonna run out of bounds. We can just run through that wall. It's fake, much like everything in this game. You won't get that joke unless you know the lore. The lore, guys. You have to know the lore. But we're gonna go out of bounds here. And this is quite a different strat from some runners. We're way out of bounds. Like, wow. Also, for the most part, everything you see here, minus a very large water moat, is playable area. So you see those big yellow towers? You run across those in the casual version of this stage. We're gonna fall for 5 minutes now, and I'll catch you at the bottom because I'm gonna focus for this.
Sounds good. If you want to see a different approach to the stage, you can actually take a look at the show I previously hosted before, Passion Project. That was never before seen. It ended back in November of 2022, and I had, for one of my last episodes, I had Argic, who runs the any percent category on version 1.0 at the time, do a full game any percent new game run. So
this was before we knew Infinite Fall existed, by the way.
So if you want to see what the run looked like back in November for any percent, not New Game Plus, but any percent, it's a very different experience from what we've had tonight. So definitely take a look at that. And also, speaking of which, we did a tutorial for this game for version 1.1. Some of it applies to 1.2, some of it applies to 1.0, but there were things that Claus did mention is 1.1 specific. But if you like tutorials and you want to get into more speedruns over time through, like, even if it's just, I want to watch a tutorial because I want to understand, like, a run better while watching it, we do have a tutorial-specific show called How to Train Your Speedrunner, and that is hosted by our wonderful showrunner, Church and Sarge, every other Thursday, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, and that is on the week opposite of mine. So, not tomorrow, Thursday, but the following Thursday will be How to Train Your Speedrunner. And we do tons of tutorials over on that show that are dedicated. So this is a variety show over here, and I like being able to dip into some of the other styles of shows that we have here on Hotfix. If you don't know anything about Hotfix, this is what we do in our off time between Frame Fatales and main GDQ events, and we showcase a lot of different communities, a lot of different show themes, a lot of different really, really awesome communities across speedrunning as a whole, including the Spark Electric Jester community. So if you want to showcase a run that you're passionate about, consider submitting to my show with the !passion command in chat, and I'll give you the form to fill out from me. But we also have tons of other shows that you can reach out for if you go to gamesdonquick.com/hotfix. And we really appreciate folks coming out and watching our nightly or nearly nightly content because it is live starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And your support being here is really awesome, and so are your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, your bits.
Any primers? Any primers in chat?
Yeah, any primers in the chat. All of that stuff, you know, your bits cheered and everything on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support Games Done Quick Hotfix, so do consider subscribing if you enjoy our daily speedrunning content. This is also not Claus's first rodeo on Hotfix. I think your first showing on Hotfix was actually our yearly Sonic event that myself and another showrunner, Hypnotics, host every year. And we did announce in the middle of Frame Fatales, no less, our Frost Fatales. So go to our Twitter, go to twitter.com/GamesDoneQuick, and scroll through some tweets. but go to March 1st and you'll find the announcement for our new Sonic hotfix this year happening in May. It's going to be May 6th and 7th. We're going to be doing Sonic and the Parallel Worlds. I forgot to get a Twitch command for this, but we do have open submissions for that right now. I will grab the submission link. If you are a person who plays fan games, mods, or, ROM modifications of the Sonic series and you like to speedrun them, consider submitting to Sonic and the Parallel Worlds. So let me go get that submission link.
All right, perfect timing, in fact, because we have finished Longfall, and we're into this worst segment of the run, because it is so nerve-wracking when you're on really good pace. We have this really, really fast rail grinding section here. This thing is atrocious in the worst ways possible, and I do say that, and mean it full-heartedly. Thankfully, it's going pretty well here, and we're through it. You can really easily accidentally fall off there, and it's quite annoying. But we're gonna make sure we have all of our energy here, and then hit the spring, and change over to Safarix. And this is where wall dashing used to be done, where we dash on the wall, run there, and then dash onto it, dash off of it, and down dash off of it. And this gives us a lot of speed, and it helps a lot with this final wall run. Also, if you're wondering, yes, this game's graphics got really choppy all of a sudden. Yes, it's intentional. Don't worry about it. Just play the game, and you'll know. But we're gonna run into this last segment. We have one more fall here. I won't torture your eyes, use it with bunch of down dashes here because I don't actually think it's any faster, but also I'm not going to do that. This is a great time to finish off my water.
Reminder to hydrate everyone.
So true. I haven't been doing that enough here. My throat's starting to feel it.
You've done a lot of talking. You've done a lot of...
That's me.
A lot of talking, which is
if you like
really
talking
awesome.
Fast, join my communities. I have a Discord, I have a Twitch, I have a YouTube. Gotta shield myself here because I didn't do it on AGDQ for some reason. I talk fast and play games all the time. I also love doing runs like this, runs where I commentate. I don't do them too often on my stream just because typically I'm in the focus mode. Streaming is where I do PB attempts and stuff when I feel like it. So most of the time I'm in like hard focus mode on stream, but occasionally I'll do it. I am going the wrong way. We're going to turn around. Here we're looking for some blocks, and I don't typically go the wrong way, but, there we go. Found him. And, boom. I wanted to dunk it in, and I couldn't even hit the two-pointer. Damn. Okay. Oh, well. That is Utopia Shelter done. That stage, by the way, is intended on a first playthrough to take about 15 minutes. World record on that is a 7:32 that I got in a dead run, just random attempt. We're gonna skip through a bunch of cutscenes, and we're coming up on the end of the run here, by the way. I'll call time, just so we know. This is the line work fight. Also, we're any percent world record would be done at this point already, so tragic. But here we have Fark. We're controlling Fark. We're fighting these line work enemies. This is line work Beast. He is done. He is gone. Reference to the first game, I believe. This is line work Reaper, which, of course, reference to our good old Reaper Jester friend. And he's done. And then we have line work Spark right after. Just gonna keep on attacking and somehow get damage after he dies. And we're gonna actually... I can't static mode? There we go. Use static mode, a special ability exclusive to Fark, where if we have full energy and press the right bumper, we get to deal a bit more damage and heal up. We're going to try to take out Spark before this attack starts hitting me, unfortunately. Couldn't do it. This is Linework Spark, by the way. He's gone now. Thankfully. That fight's a bit of a gauntlet at the very end. But as we finish out the run here, just one more segment to go. It should not take more than 20 seconds, in all honesty. Spark. Aliens. All right. That's fine. Here we see Sparks for the first time in the story, and this is Claritas Centralis, the final boss of the game. Once this enemy is dead and the screen fades to black, that's when time will be, and hopefully this will be 45? 45, hopefully. There we go. Claritas Centralis is dead. We're gonna dash out of the way, and time will be when the screen fades to black here, so in about 3, 2, 1, time. All right. That is Spark New Game Plus. I'm gonna
Get your
skip this
GGs
cutscene.
out for Shovel Claws. I still can't really get over the reference here, or the very, very blatant reference here.
Fun fact: this is actually a fully playable mod. There's 2 songs and a chart and everything.
Wow, I actually did not know it was fully playable.
Charts. No, it's totally playable. You can find it online. It's on Lake Feppard's Newgrounds page, I believe. You can play the full thing. I have actually played it. I don't actually regret it. I actually had fun with it. I know one of my friends is going to make fun of me in chat. But that is Sparkly Electric Jester 3's New Game Plus. There's a lot more to this game that you did not see. For example, we skipped 6 levels. You saw some of them during that tutorial segment. However, for the most part, that's all I have. That run ended with a time of 45:33. We're gonna check the milliseconds. So let's grab the timer, put some milliseconds on there. 45.33.1. So that's about it for Spark. Hopefully the tutorial helps you out getting started in runs. If you want to do runs, Amber, could you post the speedrun.com link, speedrun.com/spark3. There you can find our Discord, you can find our level leaderboards, where, sorry, it's so it's actually like unusable. I wish we could do something about it. You can also find all of the categories we offer. There's a lot there. So if you're a fan of the combat in this game, we have categories for you. If you're a fan of short runs, we have categories for you. If you're a fan of long runs, we have categories for you. I'd love to see people join Spark 3's community. Hopefully we can get you sorted out. We can help you out learning the game. Ultimately, like this game is my favorite speedrun of all time, and I'm so happy I could show it off. And get a minute ahead of my any percent PB. We're gonna skip that cutscene too because it's spoilers.
Yeah, I hear it's major spoilers.
Major spoilers. Probably like next game basis spoilers if Spark 4 gets made. We'll see. But yeah, absolutely love this game. I really appreciate Amber. Thank you so much for having me on. I love Spark. I will die for any opportunity to talk about this game. If you know me, you know that's true. I'm not lying about it. But you can find me everywhere as Shovelclaws, twitch.tv/Shovelclaws, youtube.com, search Shovelclaws. I'll be like the first thing to show up unless it's like a scene from Sonic X. I can't help that one. Or Twitter @Shovelclaws. Find me everywhere, just one word, just as it is presented. No one uses that username. It's really unique, apparently. So I've heard, wow, that Shovelclaws guy has a really cool name. But ultimately, you don't even have to find me. I just want you to find Spark 3 and go play it. This game's $20 on Steam, offers hundreds of hours of content. I have just under 200 hours in this game, which was kind of a surprise to me. I thought I'd have more, but this game is incredible. It's also almost entirely made by one person. So go support him. Lake Feppard, great dev. He's constantly updating this game. We're on 1.2 now, and I'm sure 1.3 is coming. This game's story isn't over either. There's more story updates too. The last update we got actually is a story update, has story content. It's crazy. this game is just so cool. And Tempest Mask in chat is correct. Buy the other Spark games if you're up for it. I will say I'm not a fan of 2D platformers, so I wouldn't blame you for skipping out on Spark 1. Spark 2, just buy Spark 3, honestly. You don't need to spend the money on that game. You can if you want. I spent the money on it and then refunded it, which I kind of feel bad about, but also I have Spark 3, so, you know. Definitely go support the dev. This game's really, really cool. This entire series is really cool. Also, the developer is making an F-Zero clone. If you're into those kind of games, keep an eye out. It looks sick. It looks really, really cool. I want to play it real bad. But I think that's it for my outro. I don't have anything else to say. Thanks, Amber. Thanks, GDQ, once again. I love this game.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure having you on, showcasing the tutorial, showcasing the New Game Plus run. You absolutely, kicked butt. I know your standards are really, really high and you're really hard on yourself, but people really enjoyed themselves here. So I think that's what really matters here. People really enjoyed it. The run looked fun. And honestly, thank you for showcasing this.
Of course, any excuse. You know me. I'll run this game anytime.
Yeah, exactly. You submitted it twice. You submitted an IL showcase first, and then
I did,
which is how I had the tutorial idea, and then you submitted the full game run, and I was just like, why not both?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you coming to me with the idea. I didn't actually want to do the tutorial at first. At least, I never thought about submitting it or anything. So I was like, oh my god, a tutorial. This is the perfect opportunity. I've been working on a tutorial anyways. Might as well just do it live. That way I'll actually finish it, because, god, video editing kills me.
Accountability!
I had a video plan for this. True. I had a video planned for this game for a very long time, talking about why it's just my favorite speedrun of all time. And I never finished it. Oopsie.
Honestly, relatable, though.
Yeah, it's fair. Video editing, it's fun. I can't finish things, is the real issue. But I can finish speedruns and hotfix shows. So, we got
it. Just felt like a natural fit?
Exactly.
All right, I think that's going to be about it for us tonight. Just if you want to follow what Games Done Quick is up to, use the ! links command in Twitch chat for all things GDQ. And tune in tomorrow for the first step, followed by Victory Lap, all starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, though, please look after yourselves and your loved ones. Drink some water, stretch your legs, eat a snack, take your medicine, vitamins if you need to, and remember that you're valid and deserve all the best in the world.
Dude. One more thing, sorry to interrupt. Spark plushies have started shipping out, and I'm really, really sad that I didn't get mine. So I was told that Spark had something to say, but he couldn't be here to actually say it. Trans rights, neopronouns are valid. Anyways, that's the message he left for me. He did want to say that. So I'm just getting it out there for him.
That is a good message to spread as well. So I want you all to send all of this wonderful positive energy over to our raid target for tonight, and have a good rest of your night. Take care, and I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Actually, just a heads up, in 2 weeks, I am actually going to be starting at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing a longer show. We're booking a couple of Sonic runs, so if you liked Spark, because, it's a fast 3D platformer, we've got some fast 3D platformers for you on the 22nd, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, with one of the runs is going to be Sonic Frontiers 100%. That's all I'll spoil.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be really, really cool.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Exactly. So I will see you all in 2 weeks. Have a great rest of your night. Good night.